Really? You want to pull up your test results?
No, I'm good. Do you want to pull up your test results?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Wait, you
Show us.
just have to trust him, bro. His test results definitely are like 1,000
Well,
nanograms per deciliter, man.
you know, I
So,
really wish
like
I could. I
600
can't set images in
600 is
chat,
like
so.
fairly 600 nanograms per deciliter is like fairly average. So
No,
like,
not
pretty, like,
600.
average level.
667. Dean, get it right, please.
Okay, I apologize.
Yeah, you should.
Okay. Do you wanna like address the points we made just there? Quote unquote more of a man under your worldview than Donald Trump because you see as like being a man as having testosterone.
I'm more of a man. You're not.
Okay. So what makes you think that? Wait. What makes you more of a man than me?
Because I voted for Donald Trump.
Okay. So are you saying that being a man isn't biological?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay. Okay. So you're saying specifically voting for Donald Trump makes you a man, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're agreeing no women voted for Donald Trump, right?
Well, they have higher testosterone levels.
Yeah, no women voted for Trump under your view. Also, Andrew, I see that you got a Bible verse in your bio. What the fuck happened to love thy neighbor, bro?
I am loving my neighbor. I'm just saying my neighbor might have lower testosterone levels.
You need to lock in, bro. You need to lock in. You need to start loving thy neighbor.
No, I'm just saying my neighbor.
Would me having lower testosterone levels be a worse thing?
No, I'm just saying.
Oh, if it's not a worse thing, then why'd you bring it up?
I just said.
So tell me why you support Donald Trump then.
You know what? Actually, just real quick, Andrew, could I get a quick bicep circumference check from you?
Oh, I can't even fit it in my camera. Like my camera's too small to like capture all of it. You know?
All the like if you had to like guess what your bicep circumference in inches is, like what would you assume?
Probably around like 6 to 7 feet. You know.
Dude, he keeps just saying that, bro. You're so weird, bro. It's 6 to 7 feet.
Why am I weird?
Crazy.
Why am I not allowed to say that?
6 to 7 feet is crazy. What are you, SpongeBob?
Andrew, it kind of sounds like you're overcompensating here, my friend.
Yeah, like
no,
what
I'm
are you,
not.
SpongeBob, putting on like the inflatable muscles?
What are you?
Wait, Parker, I have another question here. So why do you say that Tylenol can't cause autism? Why do you think that?
Because there's a Swedish study with 2.5 million people that indicates no association between Tylenol usage during pregnancy and autism after taking into account genetics and siblings.
And what university was that conducted
Nice
at?
pivot. You gonna deny science again, buddy?
What university was that conducted at?
I can pull it up.
No, go right ahead.
Hey, Andrew,
What's
what year
your
were you
point?
born in?
2006, May 9th.
And how old are you?
19.
I don't know. You just seem like you're maybe like I don't know.
Are you trying to silence your critics, Dean?
I think that you're just acting like you're 14.
I think you're just playing the victim here.
How am I victimizing myself?
Because you're saying how I'm just ruining your whole argument here because I'm 14. You're trying to find an excuse to silence me.
I think he's just rage baiting.
He's just like giving.
He's
like
trying to find
14.
anything he can possibly try to say.
No, Parker. No, Parker. I wanna see the doctor here. Pull up the university. I want to hear it, Parker.
Yeah. So I got you.
He's
give me one
waiting
second.
for Kamala to email back the propaganda.
Kamala, you think Kamala's sending me it right now?
Well, she sends you her paycheck.
Kamala just sent it right now.
Okay.
Wait, did you say that
it's getting
Kamala
in.
Harris sends him paychecks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kamala Harris just sent me a paycheck right now. Coral, thank you for the $20 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, Coral. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Kamala changed her name
thank
to
you for
Coral.
the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Wait, so
Coral
you
again with the $20. Thank you so much. Thank you for the money directly from Kamala Harris. I really appreciate it. Cinda with the $50 on PayPal. Thank you so much, Cinda. Can we get some W's for Cinda in the comment
Kamala's
section
using
right now?
aliases
For the
to hide
money
from the
from Kamala
company.
Harris. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Melissa, thank you for the $1. Thank you.
So do you think that Kamala Harris just pays Parker or also pays me?
Both.
So we're
Oh,
both
both
paid
of
like
us.
specifically by Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
But like no one else, just Kamala.
No, just Kamala Harris. Oh, and Tim Walz. And you can throw him in. Yeah.
And Tim?
Can you be serious for a second?
I'm being serious.
Darling, think of the $2.
I'll be serious when you pull up that article.
Okay, well, it's acetaminophen used during pregnancy and children's risk of autism, ADHD, and intellectual disability. That's the title.
That's the university? Because
No, that's the title of the study.
quite a weird. No, but I didn't ask for the title. I asked for the university.
Not
it
all
wasn't conducted by a
studies are
university.
conducted.
So who's the main doctor on it?
I just told you.
He told you the author.
You told me the title, not the doctor.
He told you the title
Okay,
and the authors.
Okay, I'll tell you. The authors are I'm not. I don't know how to pronounce their names because they're Swedish.
Oh, he doesn't know how to pronounce their name, guys.
Yeah, because they're Swedish names. What the fuck?
Okay.
Okay, Jennifer,
Well,
thank you so much
I
for the
guess
$10. Thank you so much for the official office
he's
from Kamala
interrupting me.
Harris. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. John with the $5 from Kamala Harris. Lahana, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5.
Mr.
from the
President, I'm
DNC.
speaking.
Thank you
I'm
so much. I
speaking.
really
I'm
appreciate it. Thank you.
speaking. I'm speaking.
Thank you so much. Sonny, thank you for the
I'm
$5.
speaking.
Thank you so much. I really
Mr.
appreciate it
President,
from
I'm
Kamala
speaking.
Harris. Thank you very
I'm
much.
speaking.
Scotty, thank you for the $10 from Kamala Harris herself. Thank you so much. Can you thank
Are you
Kamala
done
Harris
now?
for all the money, Andrew? Thank you for the racing helmet, Kamala. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Kamala.
Yeah. Wow, Kamala
I
is
should
really
just start
gonna
thanking
be
Kamala.
all over your live stream. Yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you so
should.
much, Kamala. I really appreciate all the money. Thank you.
Yo, Kamala,
Okay, so
thank
can
you
I
so
can I
much.
speak now?
Kamala, thank you so much. No, shut up, Andrew. Kamala, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo. Yo, can we get 50 W Kamalas?
You know what,
down there
Callie?
in the
Thank you
chat?
for the points here.
Coral, I
Thank you
mean
for the
Kamala
points.
Harris, thank you so
Callie's
much for
an
the
affiliate
$10 on
of the
YouTube Super
MAGA
Chat.
movement.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Rita, thank you for the
You know what I'm gonna
$30
do?
from
You know what I'm
Kamala
gonna do
Harris.
tomorrow?
Thank you so much, Rita, for the $30 from Kamala Harris. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Amy with the $20 for I'm Kamala, but plot twist, I'm also George Soros. Whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. Melody, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. From Kamala Harris. I really appreciate all the money from Kamala Harris. Thank you very much. Again, can you, Andrew, can you thank Kamala Harris?
Thank you, Kamala Harris.
Say it again.
If you didn't give Parker his money, I wouldn't have anyone to debate
Kamala
with.
Harris.
Keeping the
Kamala
Wi-Fi
Harris.
bill.
If you can hear me, Kamala Harris, we need help. Kamala Harris, please. You're the only one that can save us. Kamala Harris, please. Kamala
I'm just
Harris.
worshiping
Kamala Harris.
Queen.
Oh my gosh, please help us.
Might as
Kamala
well get
Harris.
on your knees, Parker.
Kamala Harris, please.
Mm-hmm.
Sarah, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Megan.
Okay, can we
with
actually
the $5?
like talk
Thank
about
you so much.
Tylenol
I really
now?
appreciate it, Megan. Thank you. Thank you from Kamala Harris. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, so can we
Ryan
talk
with the
about
$5.
Tylenol?
Thank you so much.
Oh my
Thank
God.
you from Kamala Harris. Thank you. The blinker
Are
checkpoint
you
sponsored by
rage
Kamala
baiting?
Harris.
Are you rage baiting right now? Are you rage baiting?
Actually, yes, I am. I am totally. How does it feel?
Okay,
are you
so,
rage baited right now? Are you currently raging?
I just want
Donna,
to prove
thank
a
you for the
quick point.
$5 from Kamala Harris. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. John Paul, thank you for the train from Kamala Harris. Thank you.
You're fluffing my feathers. Please stop.
I can tell.
Yeah,
Go
please
ahead.
stop.
Give me an argument, buddy.
Okay, so when doctors say that cigarettes are not good for you, they're not saying you have a guaranteed 100% chance of getting cancer. They're saying that your
Georgia, thank you
risk
for the $5 on Venmo.
of cancer is higher when you smoke cigarettes. So therefore, when you take Tylenol while you're pregnant, the risk of autism for your offspring is greater, not 100%.
There's no association after taking
Oh
into
my
account
gosh.
genetics and
God.
family and siblings.
Right. If you actually listen to
Really?
the damn thing that Parker said, Andrew, then you would have very clearly heard him give you a study done on 2 million individuals in Sweden. And when accounting for both genetics and siblings, we see that there is no association between use of Tylenol during pregnancy and autism in children, meaning that according to this study done on over 2 million people, right, when you are a pregnant woman and you take Tylenol, it does not increase the risk at all of your child having autism.
Dean, did your mom take Tylenol?
Tyler, I pushed the racing.
Probably.
Did you just try to stigmatize him and try to say that he was like
I did.
autistic? Is that what you were trying
I
to say?
did. Yeah, I did.
That's fucking
I
gross.
did.
That's fucking gross
Well,
for you to do. Right? The fact that you would use that as an insult is fucking crazy. Actually nuts.
Wait, are you crying me a river right now, Parker?
I'm sorry. Yes, I think it's wrong for you to specifically say that calling people autistic is specifically an insult. Right? That's crazy. That's
I didn't
definitely
say it's an
fucking
insult.
ableist.
I just
You
said.
just
I
used
just
it
said.
as an-
No,
you
no,
just
I
used
didn't.
it as
I
an
never said it was
insult.
an insult. You're saying it's an insult.
No, you just used it as an insult.
How did I use it as an insult? I just said he was.
Don't even do that. Don't even do that. You just
Or
realized that you did
Andrew.
that. Don't do that.
Andrew,
Dean, do you see how Parker is literally playing victim for you? You're not even playing the victim here. Dean.
What?
Parker's playing it for you.
No,
Your boyfriend.
I'm calling out your behavior, saying that it was ableist.
Are you defending your
bro.
boyfriend, Parker?
Hey, acknowledge it right now. Or I'm gonna kick you. I'm serious.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to turn on my camera so you can see me? on my knees?
genuinely acknowledge it. Don't just do this for the fucking fuck of it.
What do you want me to say?
It's not what I want you to say. I want you to take accountability and say that it was messed up and you're not going to do it.
I'm not going to do it.
well, I mean, he's gone. So, I mean, Yeah, that was nuts. I actually am at an increased risk of autism, not because my mom took Tylenol when she was pregnant with me, but because of genetic components. My father has autism. Fun fact. Quick lore drop.
Quick lore drop. Kamala, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. Literally, someone changed their name to Kamala. Mark, thank you for the $3. Tyler with the $2. Thank you so much. Megan with the $5. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, they're gone.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Let's go to the next person.
Yo,
Only
dude.
send a guest request. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Kamala, thank you for the $5 on Venmo for the page. Actually, from somebody that renamed their Venmo account.
That's
to
literally
Kamala.
that's the same person who sent me $5. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello.
How old are you?
18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I tend to lead towards the right a little bit.
Like, if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald.
One last election
Okay.
because I wasn't old.
Yo, oh my God, Emma! Thank you so much for the $50 on Venmo. Holy shit, dude! Let's get 500 big Emma W's down below in that Parker live chat.
W's. If you're on YouTube, everyone hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm not a Trump supporter. I just wanted to point out that democracy.
I appreciate you very much. I am just looking for some debates. I'm sorry.
As well
Joey,
as to
thank
Emma,
you
I
for
just
5.
read your message. Emma. I had to swipe out of the app to read it, but I just want to say thank you, and that I did read your message. Thank you. As well as Tyler, thank you for the 5.
Whelan, how old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. If you're on YouTube, let's hit 3,000 likes, everybody. I think we can do it. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Alrighty. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. And also make sure to support Dean while he's up here. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo, what's up? I'm from last night, 21.
Did I already talk to you?
There was
No,
spamming
you
in the
didn't.
chat.
I was like the very, very last. You skipped me because you said, "Oh, I got to go to bed" or something.
Oh, you were the guy that was like laughing at the other guy that was on the stream.
Yeah,
that I was about to own.
there you go. Now you remember.
Okay, well, I can own you now. Got you. Don't worry. So could you name an economic policy of Donald Trump's that he influenced to get passed that you like?
I actually don't want to go economics. I thought it was more decided up to me on what we get to debate on.
No.
I have a lot of controversial. I have a lot of controversial things that you won't like. I think we should focus on that.
Let's talk about economics, and then we're going to ask you if you're Antifa.
Okay, so I mean, the economics, like the reason I don't like debating on that is because it really can go any way. It's like one person says this, oh well, if I just don't like debating. Let's debate on things that like you're gonna find
like
extremely.
To debate on? So do you want to
Yeah,
tell me?
exactly.
Are you Antifa?
I don't even know what that means.
Are you anti-fascist?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Oh no, I'm a terrorist, I guess.
Oh, okay. You heard earlier. So are you? Yeah. Would Donald Trump consider you a terrorist?
I mean, I guess so, but I do think Donald Trump's an idiot. I mean, I voted for him, and I would vote for him if I had to go back, but I do think he's an idiot.
Okay, so then why do you support the idiot?
Abortion laws, more consistent with Christianity. And then I know you're going to say, oh, but Kamala said is going to support more of the poor or whatever. I mean, yeah, that's true, but I think protecting the unborn life is more important than that.
What? That's crazy. Because since Roe versus Wade has been overturned, there's been an increase in abortions on a yearly basis, and there's also been an increase in maternal mortality. And in terms of abortion policy, I mean, I don't really see why you would support that, even as a Christian, right? I don't think that it's entailed that you have to support that. I think that that's a personal view on your behalf because you don't think that every sin should be illegal. So inevitably, it's going to reduce down to the fact that it's you personally are against it. And are you driving?
No, I'm on my way to the club. It's a buddy driving. I'm just in
Okay,
the passenger.
for sure.
Yeah.
Can you have your friend that's driving say hi real quick?
He's mute.
Here, dude, get him out of here. It's he's driving.
So the next person, only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. By the way, he's Christian. And he just lied. Like he literally just sinned. Like I don't understand how someone can be like, I'm Christian, and then literally right after that sin intentionally on a live stream.
Dude, you should see what I posted on my Instagram story. Somebody sent me a DM saying that they're Christian and that they want to pray for me to Jesus. And then the very next message, like 3 days later, was calling me a moron. I'm like, dude. But anyways, Parker, my girlfriend got home, so I'm going to head out. Have a good rest of your stream, bro. Yep,
Have a
take
great
care.
night.
Take care, everyone. Bye, guys. Whee!
Peace out. Peace out. Do you support Donald Trump? Okay. So the next person, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everybody. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. If you like my content, everyone, I do these debates every single day. Make sure to subscribe to me if you haven't already on YouTube, and follow me on TikTok if you have not already, everybody. Alrighty. Alrighty, let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
20.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Um, a little bit.
If you could
I
go
would
back
say
in time
yes,
and you
but
could either
also
vote for
no.
Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
If I had to go back in time,
Yeah.
um, is this before Donald Trump was a bad person? Does that make
What?
sense?
What?
Like
I'm
Donald
saying
Trump,
with the knowledge that you have right now, you go back in time, would you either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris?
um, probably Harris.
Okay, based. Based. Let's go on to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. How long has Parker been on? For about 2.5 hours. Meaning we have at least like 2 hours, I would say, left on the stream. Hour and a half at the least, but I think I'm going to go longer than that. I think I might try to do 5 hours tonight. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, sir.
What's your birth year?
2006.
What month?
May.
Okay, wouldn't you be 19?
Yeah.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates.
Debbie,
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
what are you doing? Hi.
Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next person, everybody. Only send a guest request. Again, if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hi, it's 63.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Yes, I do.
If you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
I think I would vote for Kamala Harris because of you. Because
Yo,
of
that's amazing. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very much. That's great. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section right now? We love that. We love that. Let's go on to the next person here real quick, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. We love that. We love that. Let's get some W's in the comment section right there.
Hey, Parker.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 30.
Do you support Donald Trump?
Of course.
What's your birth year?
1995.
And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
Well, I couldn't vote back then because I wasn't a citizen back then. But if I could, I would vote for Trump. Yeah.
Okay. Why would you vote for Trump?
Because he's been advocating for a secure border, and I am a legal immigrant. I came here illegally, and I just think that's the right thing to do.
Well, I think the current legal process takes too long right now. So for anyone who's come to the country undocumented who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime, I believe should be given a pathway to citizenship. Right? I think the legal process should go significantly quicker for those that are trying to come to the country through the legal process, and also for those that came to the country undocumented, if they specifically would have not been restricted in coming to our country, right? If it is the case that they went through the context of the legal immigration laws, but I don't think that they specifically had an obligation to do so because our current process takes years on average for people to get through.
Yeah. Do you know the reason why it takes years for people to go through?
There are artificial barriers in place that specifically limit people from being able to come in as quickly, and we haven't invested enough in immigration judges to make the system go significantly quicker as it should.
No, that's part of the reason, but one of the biggest factor is that there's just so many people coming into the United States. I went through the process, and it was long. I didn't really like it, but it made sense to me, Parker. And they are really doing everything that they can. My interview was 7:45 a.m. in the morning at the embassy, and I don't know how early you would have them to have people to go there, and the latest one is 5 p.m. So you can imagine like people working there like tirelessly. And they have a lot of.
I'm not saying the people aren't working tirelessly. What I'm saying is that we don't have enough people specifically doing those jobs, right, to be able to actually fulfill the level of people that are trying to come into our country.
I know there are barriers, like you cannot just like add 50 people at the embassy. You have to get the host country to agree that you can bring in more people, especially like in my country, in China, like on the official website of the US embassy, like it specifically says like we don't have enough manpower because the Chinese government limits the people that we hire. So therefore the process is slower if you were to do it in a different country. But overall, if you add all these countries going into the United States legally, there's a lot of people, and I don't care, Parker. I don't care if it takes long. It is the law. You have to follow the law. If you go through the border illegally, if you just go in there, okay, that is not okay. It's not fair for people like me. It is not fair for people who go through the channel legally, who went through health check, who went through background check. Where are those people's health check and background check, Parker? Those people who just walk into the border.
So that argument is like essentially saying that for people who didn't have access to K through 12 public education for free, right, prior, because they had to pay for it themselves, it's unfair to them for us to provide K through 12 education for free, right?
So what would you say?
Right, so because it's been bad for people in the past, it should be bad for people going into the future. And I disagree with that notion. I think it's unfair for our society as a whole specifically to create the conditions where we don't want to create a better legal immigration process. We don't want to create better conditions for even people who have come to the process undocumented because it is the case that we think it's quote unquote unfair because it is the case that they would be getting better treatment that people have existed in the past. Right. I do think that
so
we
Parker,
believe in the American dream, that we can make it better for our children than it was for us. And doing that in of itself contradicts what you just said.
So what would you say to those people who are right now currently going through this legal process right now? Like if the border was back then where under Joe Biden and Harris, what would you say to those people who are undergoing legal process? Would you say, fuck it, just go to the border, just walk right in? What would you say that to them?
Push the galaxy. Thank you. I would like for the legal process to be significantly quicker.
Everybody wants that, but the reality
Well,
is
what,
you can't.
if I was, yes, you can. If I was in the government, I would ensure that there is the case that there's funding. Instead of the funding going towards militarizing ICE, the funding would go towards immigration judges, right, and making the vetting process go quicker.
It's not only about the judges though. Like I came here under because I am married to American. Like it is already the quickest way, if you marry to a US citizen, and that takes on average in my country 2 to 3 years, okay, which is really really unacceptable. But when I went through the process, I really couldn't see like the process being any quicker with the amount of people. Like I went through it. My interview was 7:45 a.m. at the embassy, okay? And I had to line up there at 5 a.m. There's already people working at the embassy at 5 a.m.
Okay, and from that interview, how long did it take?
For that interview, I have to take my fingerprints. I have to show them my documents. Like all these legal. They have to make sure it's me, and then they have to take my pictures and everything, fingerprints, pictures, and ask me questions to see if I'm lying to them or not. Like asking me
How
questions
long did
about
that
my
process
relationship.
take?
About 1 hour. Walking
So,
in
so
there.
you're saying that we could get people into the country in 1 hour. All we need is an hour to get people in the country. That's not how long it takes for people on average to get into our country. If it took an hour, people wouldn't be coming to the country undocumented. Okay? That would make no sense.
That's just one interview. They already have my information on their computer. That's just a confirmation saying that, oh, it is you. Okay, like it is you. Yes, your marriage is real. You're not lying, people, and we have to take your fingerprints, and you have to hand me your health check. Like to embassy designated hospitals. And when people go through that, when millions of people go through this process, okay, and then on the other hand, there are people walking into the country and they're admitted, they're given the rights to work. Think about that. Where is their health check, Parker? Where is their legal background check?
Well, so you provide that. That's why I say when we do specifically for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, you give them a pathway to citizenship.
They are already
where there
committing
is
a crime,
vetting process.
walking into the country illegally. That is automatically a crime.
I understand, and
Yeah.
I don't really care, to be honest.
You should care though, if that's what you stand for.
Why should I care?
Why wouldn't you care if someone
care?
enters your country illegally?
Why should I care? Tell me.
You're a citizen. You don't care if someone commits a crime in your country.
If it's not a crime that harms the safety or security of the nation that I live in, why would I care as much?
Why wouldn't it hurt the safety and the security of your nation? You know what? This is something that is so dear to me.
Is likely to commit violent crime, drug crime, and property crime in the United States.
I know this is something that's very personal to me. I support Trump because of the his border stand, okay, and I support you, Parker. I support you on so many other things, and I don't support Trump on so many other aspects. But this is very personal to me, and I think it affects me more because I went through it. Okay, a lot of things that are happening. Here's the thing. I have a friend.
You're telling me I should have to care about them coming to the country undocumented if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime. I think the process should be quicker for everyone. So I'm confused how what I'm advocating for is that all like bad under your perspective. It would have been faster
of course
for
it's bad,
you if it is the case that we had the system I'm advocating for.
Of course, it is. Your stand is because the process is long. So those people who come documented, they should be granted a special admission or permission to do whatever. That is from our perspective. That's really really wrong.
This isn't special permission. This isn't special permission because they're getting the same pathway to citizenship that other people are getting as well.
Parker, have you ever been to Disneyland or Universal Studios?
Yeah.
So would you tell your friends or your kids, or can a father tell their kids, okay, there's this line for this ride, but that's 4 hours. Fuck it, go find a shortcut or a door and get on the ride. You think that's right?
So this is a example of a justified specific law or a justified rule in place. In the situation in which there's justified rules in place, it is the case that then you can have an issue with violating the law. The issue here is that in the terms of our immigration process, we do not have a justified rule in place. and that's why there's not much of an issue with violating it. Does it make sense?
There is every issue of violating it. If America is a country, rule of law, would you agree?
Yeah, and Donald Trump undermines the rule of law by calling for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, violating
Yeah,
people's
that's
First
his fault.
Amendment rights, Second Amendment rights, Fourth Amendment rights, Fifth Amendment rights, and 14th Amendment rights.
Yeah, that's his fault, and he should be held accountable for that. But I'm not talking about that though. I'm talking about he's being advocating for a safety border. If you want to go into the country, you have to go into the country legally. Follow the process. Even if the law sounds stupid, even if the law to some people like, oh, it takes too long, but it's a law. You have to respect it. There is no single country. Okay, for example, if Mexico has a better quality of life, and let's say like the situation is the other way around, and if American people try to get to Mexico, and there's a lot of people and there's a lot of wait, would you say no? I'm not gonna go through that. I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna walk into Mexico. If there is a way, like I'm just gonna walk in there. Do you think that's okay?
Again, we're talking about someone else's laws. I'm not specifically clarifying a perspective on Mexico. I'm not advocating for Mexico's laws to be a certain way in that context.
It is the same thing, though.
If I did, I would say the same position as what I'm advocating for the U.S.
It really is the same, because it's just mind blowing for people who came here. Because I'm married to a U.S. citizen, it is already fast, and it takes 1 to 2, sometimes 3 years. But if I'm a green card holder and if I want to try to get someone for example, my parents here, that would take 7, 8, 10 years.
Which is ridiculous.
That is. Yes, which is really, really ridiculous. They should fix that. But my viewpoint is until they do, they have to follow the law. They cannot jump the line.
They have to follow the law. Now watch this. Watch how quickly you're going to fold on that. We're going to write this down. They have to follow the law. Okay? How do you feel about Donald Trump deporting people without due process? Does he have to follow the law when deporting people?
So you're saying if he doesn't follow the law, someone doesn't respect the law, so I shouldn't. So
No,
I
that's
should
not
just
what
walk
that's
into
not the
country.
argument. I'm asking you if the same standard applies to Trump. Does Donald Trump have to follow the law when deporting people?
Everybody has to.
Okay, so then do you hold Trump to that standard that he has to follow the law?
Everybody has to, not just Trump. Everybody, and it's unfortunately the case that
So why do you support him, given that he is advocating for that and he does do that?
Like I said, this is personal. This is very personal to me. This is very dear, and I believe there is a huge percentage of American people who voted for him despite knowing that he is an asshole. Sometimes, but the border issue is very out of control.
Yeah,
okay.
If you voted for a guy held civilly liable of sexual abuse who incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol, right, because it is the case that you wanted to punish undocumented immigrants, then you need to think again, because not only did the Democrats uphold policies of deporting people who have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes, which I disagree with, right, but it is the case that that's not a good argument. That's not a good reason to even vote for Donald Trump, even if it were true, that they specifically held my perspective.
When I was going through the process, I'm an immigrant, I didn't really know a lot of, it's just very personal to me. I was talking to my friend in New York while I was waiting.
If you want to uphold the rule of law, how can we do that when you have a candidate that you voted for that incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol, pardoned the violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th, and then called them patriots? Explain
that's
to me
a
how
different
that's the rule of law.
That I didn't say that he is a guy that follows the law. I just say this border issue is very personal to me, and if he is advocating for it, okay, if I care about that more than I care about the riots somewhere, I would vote for him.
Wow, so you care more about punishing undocumented immigrants, right? Then
because
and in deporting people without due process, then you care about
because you don't know
the 420,000 children cut off of free school lunch and breakfast on average every single month due to the context of the big beautiful bill.
It's nice that you mentioned school and kids, because you don't know what people like me were going through. While I was waiting for my interview, and I was talking to my friends in New York City, and then he said his brother had to go back to Zoom, to go to class. And I was like, COVID, it was over. Why did he have to go to Zoom? You know what he said? He said because the principal of the school tell the kids to go back to their home because they're going to use the school as shelter for people coming into the country for illegal immigrants. Picture that,
We're talking
Parker.
about asylum
Kids go
seekers,
back
right?
to
If you're, I
school,
don't know what
and
you're
the
talking about.
school
There's
has to be
asylum
given
seekers
into
in
illegal.
the states. In the states, there were only policies for asylum seekers. There's no particular policy specifically for undocumented immigrants. I would love to see what you're talking about. And also, again, you are just fear mongering about undocumented immigrants rather than addressing the real conditions that are wrong with this country that are caused by Donald Trump. You will never acknowledge any of Donald Trump's ailments to the same degree as you'll acknowledge anyone else specifically who's an undocumented immigrant. I don't know why you put that at such priority over every other aspect of our country, our democracy, our rule of law, our constitution, our court system. That Donald Trump undermines every single one of those things.
You know what? Everybody puts the thing that affects them most directly on the priority.
How do undocumented
Everybody
immigrants,
does that, Parker.
Listen to this. How do undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime getting a pathway to citizenship harming you?
Because they were here illegally. They already committed a crime. Undocumented is
Trump
already a
crime.
criminal.
So is Trump harming you? He's a criminal. First thing Viking.
That doesn't slow up my process. You know, I'm talking about my process. I'm talking about people, millions of people like me who came here
using an app
legally.
right now that is banned under the law and just not being enforced to be banned because of the Trump administration.
What app?
This app, TikTok. TikTok is banned by the government. Okay? The reason why we're able to use it right now is because Trump, his administration, is not enforcing the law. I'm not trolling. That's literally the reason. So they have to follow the law until it's Trump. You know, Trump is totally fine in not following the law, right, and not enforcing the TikTok ban. And I mean, you're totally okay with using the TikTok, right?
Wait, did he sign like executive order to like delay the ban of TikTok to
delay
expand
the enforcement? Essentially, they just don't enforce it. It's banned. They're just not enforcing it.
If they delay the enforcement, why would they have to delay to enforce it if they delay it?
What?
Like if they delay the enforcement of the ban, which means they don't have to enforce it during
listen, under the law, it literally is illegal. They're just not enforcing the law.
Okay. Well, then if that's true, I mean, he did a lot of illegal things. I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of them. But you have to understand my point of view. People like me who came here, who waited, who went through all these legal
why
process.
are you using an illegal app? If you care so much about upholding the law, why are you currently using an illegal app?
You think using TikTok is illegal right now?
TikTok is an illegal app in the United States. Yes. You're currently using an illegal app right now. Why are you doing that if you care so much about following the law?
What? I don't know if TikTok is illegal.
It is literally illegal.
Why are you using it? Why are you using it?
Because I don't give a fuck.
Oh, now you don't give a fuck?
Yeah, because it's not a justified rule to ban TikTok. God. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, so I understand I understand your point now. So because like people shouldn't care about the law, so they can just walk into the country, they can just cross the border.
Some laws I don't give a fuck about. Like if someone jaywalks, and it is the case that it wasn't a harm to anyone's safety or security, I don't think that they should be held accountable.
Well, based on what you have stating before, I do think you don't care about a lot of things. Like I watched some of your videos. You literally were like, if the process takes that long, I would encourage people to go through the border to cross the border. Like that is just wild to me.
I never said encourage. I incentivize people to go through the legal process, right? But I want that legal process to be quicker.
You said something about if the process takes that long, they should cross the border. They should go. Go to the border.
I typically say that like I understand why people do that. That's what I say.
You understand why people do that. So
yes,
you understand why people in Disneyland who doesn't want to wait for 4 hours for a ride, you understand them want to cut in the line. You understand that.
I understand it, but I don't think it's justified because it's a justified rule. Now, in the context of the situation where someone's come to the country undocumented where they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, I don't think that they should be held accountable. There's no reason to. I think it makes the country
why they shouldn't be held accountable. Why? Because they committed a crime already once they enter the country illegally.
I don't think that should have been considered a crime.
Can you go to China undocumented?
Wait, I don't think that we're going to judge what our laws should be based upon what China's laws are.
Oh, what? Let's not talk about China then. Like the rest of the world, can you go to some country, okay, 193 country
I'm not.
without
I don't.
submitting your
The point I was
documents?
making. The point I was making. This is true for any country, not just China. Is that I'm not going to just evaluate what our laws should be just because another country has a certain law.
Oh,
That's
so
not
you think
a valid
it's
argument.
okay for America to admit undocumented people into the country,
And
but you
provide
don't
them a
care
pathway to
about the
citizenship if
rest of
they've
the
not
world?
committed a violent crime or bad crime. Yeah.
So, what would you say to those people who are currently, waiting and doing
I
all
mean,
these
you're
legal
okay with
stuff?
violating the law right now using an illegal app. I've already told you it's an illegal app, and you still continue to stay on the live and utilize the
You
app even though
you
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 know
are
it's illegal.
dodging the problem, Parker.
Well,
You keep
you're using
dodging
an
it.
illegal app. You're using an illegal
Oh,
app.
okay, yeah, because I'm using TikTok is illegal, so people should
Yep.
go to the country illegally.
Wait. No, you think that no. The point I'm saying is that you think that certain laws shouldn't be enforced, and that's totally okay to not enforce certain laws.
And
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 that's the
and
point that I'm making with specifically undocumented immigrants who have not
and
committed a
the
violent
thing
crime or
is,
bad crime.
I didn't even know TikTok is illegal in America right now.
Now you
Like
do. Now
until
you
like
do.
now.
And you can choose to
Yeah.
get off the app right now. You can choose to literally leave the app right now
And
and get
those,
off the live.
Parker, those people who cross the border, knowing that they're not going through the legal process, knowing that they're breaking the law. Okay, so you're comparing me using the app that I didn't even know that was illegal, and
They
to
didn't
those
know it
people
was
who
illegal to come.
knowingly,
They didn't know it was illegal to come here undocumented.
oh, they didn't know. Did they tell you that?
They can just claim
I'm
that.
pretty sure they know because I
They
am
can
in
just
this
claim
group.
that.
I am in this group chat where this group chat it's actually a business. It's a business. They have like agents in different countries. In South America, they charge people like, oh, here's how we can dodge the police, and here's the route that you can take to avoid
Yeah,
this.
because
Like
the
I am
process
in
takes
that
too
group
long to
chat.
go through. There's an
Oh,
incentive specifically for people to go through the process undocumented. There's a lack of an incentive for people to go through the process documented if you provide a quicker legal pathway to citizenship.
wow. Yeah. Until there is a quicker and a faster one, everybody follows the law. Do you agree with that?
People will follow the law because it gives them better conditions, right? If someone specifically is in the country undocumented and they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, they will go through the process of being vetted if it's under my system, because it is the case that they don't want to be treated negatively. They want to have the workers' law regulations and laws that apply, right? So that they can't be
It's
they can't get pay under minimum wage. They'll get over minimum wage.
I I honestly don't see the process of how it can increase unless they build another 5 embassies in China, but that requires diplomatic solution. There are 4 main pillars of my application. Okay, Parker. The first one is health. The second one is documents. Like your police check and police background check, and then the third one is your civil documents. And I really don't think how any of that can be getting rid of to make the process quicker, especially if
No.
when I went
We
to
don't
the
have to get rid of it. We just need to make the process go quicker so that you evaluate those documents quicker from the
like
government
how, I don't know how, because the
you
main
invest in
problem.
resources to sort through that quicker. You hire
Yeah,
more
but
people to
the
sort
main
through them.
process is that every year, each year, like 2 million people, going through the process. I don't
That's
know if
fine.
it's 2 million
Great.
or 1 million, and
Great.
especially my interview is like at 7:45. Gosh, like how can they make it quicker? Like I really don't understand how earlier do you want them to?
I just told you multiple ways to make it quicker.
Yeah,
Hire more
multiple.
people to vet and go through the vetting, or be the people vetting, right? And be the people who are the immigration judges, and be the people who are
So
part
do
of
you
the
think?
embassy workers, right? Specifically that
Yeah,
sort through
you
the
can't.
papers.
You can't do that solely based on your decision. If you want to add more people, if you want to put more people in the embassy, you have to get the permission of the host country. It has to be equal. Do you understand? It's not domestic. It's not like I want to put more janitors in a school or something. If you want to put more people in the embassy in China or any country, you have to get the permission of that host country. You cannot be like, oh, I have 500 people at the embassy in China, whereas the Chinese embassy in America only has like 100. That is not right. You have to get they have to get the visa in order to work there, and there is a limit.
What's your point? How about this? Could you name something Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
If he's like everybody can, yeah, I don't care about the border issue anymore, and I'll I'll not vote for him
Anything
because
else?
this is very personal to me.
Anything else other than the border?
No, yeah, for me right now, because I went through the process, legally, and I think everybody should.
So if he like sexually abused a child, you'd still vote for him?
I didn't know that.
I said if he did that, would you still vote for him?
I would probably not.
Okay. If he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, would you still vote for
Oh,
him?
I know what you're doing right now. You're gonna list all the things that he did illegally.
I'm not gonna list anything. I'm just asking you. If he were held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, would you still vote for him?
Probably not. No.
Probably?
Yeah, no.
No? Okay. Well, he was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, therefore you wouldn't vote for him, right?
I mean, no. Yeah, no.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you coming up, Peter.
Well, you just keep dodging the problem. I just want
What?
you.
I didn't dodge. You just conceded.
I didn't consider.
What?
My goal, Parker, is for you to compromise a little bit, saying yes, maybe,
On what? You just conceded.
maybe it is not fair for people millions of them who came to the country illegally. Okay, maybe there is some credit for him to, make the border secured. It is always not your problem.
I think that I am advocating for a secure border. I think that Trump is not.
I think it is not your problem until it affects you directly or somewhat directly. Okay?
What do you mean it's not my problem? What are you talking about, bro?
Because you don't seem bothered by it at all, Parker. You think it's something that's people can go through the country, like yeah, they're fine, but you are ignoring the feelings of millions of people. Their frustration.
Yeah, here I got you. If someone was held civilly liable of sexual abuse, I wouldn't let them legally enter the country, and I would deport them if they came to the country undocumented.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's what you're leading me into. Saying that Trump is sexually abused a woman, right? Just like you ask a lot of
yeah. If Trump were trying to come to the country, you would deport him.
How would you know that though? If they already come here undocumented,
civilly liable of
Parker?
Sexual abuse.
How would you know that? Hey, Parker, how would you know that if they have sexually abused a woman, if they came into the country undocumented?
Held civilly liable.
How would you know them? How would you help them? If you don't even know who they are, you don't even know who they are. They walk into the border.
You can identify through documentation.
You just said undocumented.
When I'm walking
Parker.
on the street, it's not watchdogs. I don't have the ability to see everyone's personal information just by looking at them, okay?
Yeah, exactly. So that's why you need documents. You need people's information, like police check, like background check. But you're advocating like they can walk into the country, they're undocumented, if they have not done anything wrong. How would you know if they have not done anything wrong if they're undocumented?
How would we know that they're... Wait. Actually, watch this.
Parker.
Watch this. You're not letting me respond. Watch this. How would we know that they're undocumented? Okay, real question. Ask yourself, if you don't use due process, how do you know that they're undocumented?
Oh, God. Okay, this kills me. Oh.
If you don't use due process, how do you know they're undocumented?
Wow!
Oh my God! It's almost like you just cooked yourself, bro. I didn't even realize it.
You did. If they
yourself.
came here, if they come here undocumented, you don't even know what crime they have committed. Okay, at least I have a.
You can identify through documentation if it is the case that you detain them, right? But the thing is, you have to use due process to identify that. So the point that I'm making is that in terms of a due process, right? How do you specifically identify that they're undocumented if you do not utilize due process?
What is a due process anyway?
If you commit a crime, right, you're going to go in front of a judge.
How would you know if someone committed a crime if they don't tell you?
We have police to investigate that? Hello?
I'm talking about people coming into the country, like walking into the country. How do you know their prior history? Because what you told me is you would deport someone who have committed a crime like sexual abuse, right? If people came here undocumented, how would you know if they have committed a crime before crossing the border?
Due process. By identifying the documents that would say that. You contact the countries, right, that they specifically came from.
You
get
think
the
that would make
documentation.
that
for
would
due
make
process.
that would make the process much quicker, right? Isn't that
Yes.
what the embassy is already doing right now?
Yes, you just
Asking
need-
people
Hey,
for their police
oh my
check?
gosh, it's almost like you realize that, yes, this is what they're doing. We just need to do it to a larger scale.
They're already doing it at a very large scale, Parker.
So, a larger scale.
Oh God. Wow.
What's wrong? What's wrong? You're disagreeing with me saying to streamline the process? Like, come on.
Yeah, until there is a streamline one, I would want everyone to go through the country legally, okay?
And to identify that they're in the country undocumented, do you have to utilize due process?
Well, have you been looking at the comments? They all said you lost. Your mind is imploding. And yeah,
At what point did I lose on?
you lost it when you said you would deploy deployed someone who have committed a crime like sexual abuse. Okay, so how would you even know if they walk into the border? Okay, if you don't have their documents, how would you know if they have committed a crime, Parker? You're letting them.
Dude,
you see,
I told you, law
see,
enforcement identifies it the same way. Like, for example, right? Like when law enforcement is identifying someone who's a citizen who's committed a crime, they don't know what their name is. They don't know what their name is until they've identified that through investigation, right? Figuring out their name through different types of mechanisms, and then trying to utilize different types of documents that exist in this country and around the entire world in order to identify that. Fingerprints.
You're talking about
there's plenty of different things that you can cross-reference on an international basis in order to be able to identify specifically whether or not they've committed a crime in a different place around the world. Right? Again,
yeah, you and I are talking about different situations.
Of my worldview. Essentially, the argument you'd be providing would also be a critique to any type of immigration process, whether it's through the process undocumented or through the legal process. Because I'm advocating for giving them a legal process. Okay.
Yeah.
They're essentially arguing that you cannot give a legal process to undocumented immigrants, which would be ridiculous.
Yes. You and I are talking about different scenarios. You are talking about those people who are already in the country. Okay. If there's policemen on the street, there's due process and whatever. I'm talking about letting them in the country without knowing them who they are. Okay, we went through the process. They know they have our fingerprints. They have our police checks. They have all the information they need.
Hey, I would prefer that we specifically vet them prior. But the point of this is that if we want the most amount of people possible to be vetted, well, people who are already in the country undocumented, they're already in the country, right? So if we don't provide them a pathway to citizenship where they can stay, they're going to stay in the country undocumented. That's the reality.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
the best
I
way
agree
to
with
ensure
you.
that they are vetted to a greater extent is
I'm
to
not
provide
talking
said
about
pathway to
that.
citizenship.
I agree with you. If people are already here, they already established a family, they already pay their taxes. Good. They're contributing to the society, to the country. Okay, that's great.
So if they came undocumented, you'd still provide them a pathway to citizenship?
Why not? If they're here, if they're here, if they establish a life, if they already have a family, you don't understand my problem. You don't understand, like, the root problem is letting them walk into the country.
But the person you just talked about that you said should be able to stay came into the country undocumented.
That is the problem, Parker. You cannot guarantee everybody who walks into the country. You cannot guarantee that they would be a normal. They would pay taxes.
We're not saying everyone, right? If they've committed a violent crime or a bad crime, right, they should not be allowed to stay. Background check. If they don't pass the background check, then they shouldn't be allowed to stay.
Yeah. How would you to make sure they pass their background check? If that stupid Biden and Harris have this catch and release, how would you even know that?
Dude, hey, I'm advocating for a process that gives people a pathway to citizenship for anyone in the country who's undocumented who has not committed a violent crime or bad crime. If they have committed a violent crime or bad crime, they wouldn't go through the legal process, so we would still have law enforcement identify that. But it would be easier for law enforcement to identify that because they wouldn't be spending so much time, fucking deporting people who have no criminal history, have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, who are just working in their communities to better their lives in the community. right? So seriously, it's ridiculous. Why is law enforcement spending their time doing that? It's making our country less safe. It's making our country less secure to have the law enforcement dealing with situations that are realistically nothing they should be dealing with. People who are in the country undocumented who have not committed violent crime or bad crime would not have been limited by the legal process. And if the legal process were significantly quicker, then again, they would have gone through said legal process. We need to provide a legal process that is quick to actually incentivize people to go through that process, and people who are already in the country undocumented who would get through said legal process if it were quick in the first place, right, should not be kicked out of the country. It makes no sense to do that. It is using governmental resources unnecessarily and wastefully.
So you would agree that for this country, for this people, for this person to go into the country, you have to like document them. You have to like get their police check and everything, knowing them.
There needs to be a pathway to citizenship where they are vetted. That's something that needs to happen. Absolutely.
Okay. So you just kind of destroyed yourself, because that's what I have been advocating for: a safer border, a secure border.
Because you're advocating for people who are in the country undocumented to be deported, which means that they're going to stay in the country.
Wow, you're putting words in my mouth right now, Parker. I have never.
I'm sorry. To clarify, I was assuming that you were holding the same position you were saying throughout the entirety of the stream that you've been on so far.
Yeah, my point, okay, my focal point is people needs to come here legally.
Yeah,
okay, they cannot walk into the country.
Didn't. We want to provide a pathway to citizenship so they can go through the legal process and
and then you brought up like the issue, like if someone has committed a crime or like sexually abused a woman, like should be deported. And then my fight back is, how would you know? You know, if they're already in the country undocumented, how would you know if they didn't commit a crime prior their enter?
Due process.
Okay, you don't know that. Okay, if I were here and if I committed a crime when I'm 30 years old, if I committed a crime, if I sexually abused a woman when I was 20, how would you know? I had done that. You didn't collect my police. You didn't. I came here undocumented, Parker. I walked to the border.
Dude, that's why we want to provide a pathway to citizenship, specifically for people who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime. So it'd be easier for,
that is what Trump is doing right now.
So it would be easier for law enforcement to identify anyone in the country undocumented
that is what Trump is doing right
crime
now.
Or bad crime.
That is what he's doing right now. Shutting the border.
No, he's not. He's deporting people without a criminal history.
So you're saying that there is actually same amount of people crossing the border right now in comparison with was when Biden was president?
There were more people coming under Biden because it is a case that economic insecurity due to the pandemic and global inflation, right, specifically incentivized more people to come to the country, plus the backlog of people.
Okay, so you're actually saying because I do see the comparison. I do see the legal crossing has decreased by like at least 90%. Okay, if not more, and that is a good thing because people are getting documented. People are getting police checks and stuff ready to enter the country legally.
It's not to a greater extent, though. So, like, what you're not understanding is that, again, we need to incentivize people to go through the legal process, but by making the legal process quicker. And if we don't have any type of permanent bill in place, specifically like the bipartisan immigration bill that existed in 2023 that Trump called for people in Congress to undermine, then specifically we're not going to have conditions change for actually being able to streamline the process to go quicker. We can invest in that. It's possible. It's just Republicans have gone against that because of their commands from Daddy Trump.
Yes, and until there is a more streamlined one, until there is a quicker one, everybody follows the law. Okay, just like you go to Disneyland, if the ride is 4 hours, until there is a quicker one, quicker one.
Hold up, you could say people should follow the law so that they could have better treatment for themselves. But if they don't, in this context, because the law was not justified, it doesn't mean that they should be punished, right? And I'm saying that there's no way it's harming you if they're in the country undocumented, they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime, and they're given a pathway to citizenship. That benefits you. It does not harm you. It benefits you. So this
I would agree
that we want to scapegoat undocumented immigrants for problems that they do not cause, and then to deport them for no reason, right, is ridiculous to me because the current legal process needs to be streamlined to go quicker, right? And if we had a justified law, a justified rule, I would understand where you're coming from to a greater extent, but we do not currently have that.
I would agree with you to some point, Parker. You've said to deport them without any reason. You know, there is a reason actually, because they are undocumented. You don't know what crime they have committed. I do not support if they are
So
already
due
here.
process. So vet them. So vet them. Give them a vetting
Yeah,
process.
if they're already here, if they already established a foundation, if they pay their taxes, if they don't commit to crimes. But the problem, you know what I'm coming from, Parker? The problem is you don't know that before they're
So vet
entered.
them. Vet them.
Yeah, and it takes time. It takes
I
time.
understand.
And the
I
root
understand.
problem, yes, and the root problem is not about this legal process. The root problem is because the border was before it was wide open. Everybody could walk in. I was in that group
open.
chat. It was wide open. I was in that group chat. That group chat has like
the
2,000
one with
people
Pete
in there.
Hegseth where they leaked classified information. Is that the group chat you were in?
Now you're talking funny stuff. Okay.
Oh wait, no, that was just a journalist they accidentally added.
I'm talking about serious stuff. I'm trying to make a point here where I could get you to agree with me, because the border was wide open and people could walk in and without any documentation. There is this
How
TikTok.
long did it take for people to go through Ellis Island?
What do you mean island? What
Ellis
island?
Island was like a huge form of immigration for people specifically coming from like the eastern side of the United States in the early 1900s. Ellis Island, it's very known like historically here in the United States, and it took 3 to 7 hours. And a Parker TikTok live, you could get into the country legally.
I don't see what point you're trying to make, Parker.
The point I'm saying is that historically we've had quicker processes when we had like way worse technology. And like no one had an issue with that. And a huge portion of the people that are in our country right now, right? A lot of their parents specifically or a lot of their ancestors came through that process.
Oh, so you're saying that what we've been through, like the police check and health check and also all these documents, you're saying that a lot of them are unnecessary. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying right now is we can make the legal process go quicker. And we should do that. And this idea that we need so much specific documentation that we haven't had the ability to do that, and that we have to deport people because of this is just a ridiculous idea. You can vet people rather than deport them. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to identify that they're in the country undocumented in the very first place, right? So you're gonna have to go through a due process to identify that. We should obviously have the said due process to identify specifically any vetting process that would be relevant to the situation.
Yeah,
if they have
it's actually interesting.
Don't deport them.
It's actually very interesting to me that you're comparing like right now to some incident that happened like you said like a long time ago, right? You think the approach or the method back then would actually be suitable right now, which is really ridiculous.
I'm just saying historically we've had significantly less, and people didn't have much of an issue with that. And
the situation back then is very different.
Came through that process.
The situation back then is really, really, really different. So you would want that to be the same as right now. It's really ridiculous, in my opinion.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I don't know. That's not much of like a response to what I've said. I'm just saying it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. I support you, to a lot of like aspects you're saying, but the border, I really want you to be, to compromise a little bit.
Hey,
I don't want
this.
you to be on the
Watch
same
this.
page.
Do you agree with me on more issues than you agree with Trump on?
Yes.
Then why don't you agree with me that Donald Trump is a worse candidate than Kamala Harris?
Because this is very personal, and he did the right thing to this specific incident. You were giving out
no way. I'm sorry, you can't. You just don't do this. You're making the country worse by specifically only looking at one thing and not looking at any of the other things. You said overall you agree with Kamala Harris and me more than you agree with Donald Trump. If that's true, then you should overall realize that Kamala Harris, right, is a better candidate, right, than Donald Trump. You should be able to realize that from an overall perspective. You're so hyper fixated specifically on one particular issue that because you slightly agree with Trump a little bit more on that one particular issue, you're willing to overlook the fact that you agree with Kamala Harris to a greater extent on the overall of issues.
I don't just slightly agree. When did I say I slightly agree? That is the only reason that I would vote for him. I 100%, 110% agree. Okay, and it's really sad for me that you don't seem to see the problem. You were giving out like you were asking your debaters like if Jesus were undocumented, would you deport Jesus? Like why would you even ask that question? Why would you even assume that Jesus would come to
Are you Christian?
to America undocumented? Why?
Are you Christian?
Not really.
Then it wouldn't be a question I would ask you. I asked that question to Christians because they would think it's absurd to deport Jesus, even if he was undocumented.
Why would Jesus be undocumented in the first place? If Jesus wrote the Bible and all these rules, if he is so crazy about all these...
did Jesus ask for documentation before he walked into areas? Right? Like, no, he walked all over, right? It didn't
Yeah,
get documentation.
Was there immigration laws, Parker? If there was, I'm pretty sure Jesus...
Are you saying that Jesus never broke a law?
I'm not saying anything. I'm saying that
because
Jesus
human
wrote...
law is not the same as God's moral law. Right, so he might not have broke one of the moral laws from himself, but
if Jesus is as great as he
did break
is,
human law. He did break human law. That's a reality.
Yeah, if Jesus is as great as he is, he wouldn't have even broke a single law. Okay, why would you even assume someone who is as holy as Jesus is breaking the law?
He doesn't go off of human law. He goes off of his own law.
Oh yeah, so human laws doesn't apply to him is what you're saying.
Essentially, yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so he writes all these laws like if a man lies with another man, then he should be like stoned to death.
Dude, I'm telling you Christian's perspective, not mine. I'm not a Christian. I'm telling you the perspectives of plenty of Christians.
Yeah, if he has all these, like rules and laws and he doesn't follow them, wow. Yeah, I don't know if your Christian audience,
wait. I'm not saying
what's their reaction?
I'm not saying he doesn't follow his own laws. I said, for example, he does follow his own laws. He doesn't follow human laws. Do you know the fucking distinction between human laws and the laws inscribed in the context of the Bible that are God's laws?
So what do you think of what kind of person he is? He doesn't follow human law. Like, what do you think about Jesus then?
I'm not Christian.
You just made a statement about him. So what do you think about him? What do you think about the incident? Huh? Like he doesn't follow human law.
What do I think about some random person that existed thousands of years ago?
And if Jesus doesn't follow human law, then you're kind of encouraging or like indicating that people don't really need to follow them either because they believe in Jesus.
What?
Yeah.
Dude, what I'm saying is that again, in terms of the human law, it's different from your morals. Is what I'm saying. Laws are not all morally righteous and justified, right? And I'm also saying that, like, yes, with certain Christians, I'm going to ask them questions about this because it's going to relate to their own moral perspective based upon the religious texts that they believe in. What's your point?
Well, I don't know, Parker. I'm tired, and I just want you to know that it is a good thing that less people are going into the border into the country. Want you to agree with that.
No.
Okay.
Let's go to the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Everybody. Jesus did not care when he broke Roman law, literally. Patricia, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. Linda with the $50 on Venmo. Can we get some W's for Linda in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Linda, in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. Sarah with the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I know it's actually crazy. Thank you so much, Sarah. I really appreciate it. Darling, thank you for the $2. Christina, thank you so much for the $30 on Venmo. Thank you so much, Christina. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Stephanie, thank you for the $5. Simon with the $5. Thank you. Andrew with the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Bree, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Coral with the $5. Thank you on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Let me catch up fully on YouTube real quick. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up for the 3,400 people here. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's try to get to 2 million likes. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Coral with the $5. Slot, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Jay, thank you for the $10. Pow Pow, thank you for the $14. Thank you so much. Scott, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Fanatic, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Stephanie with the $2. G-Man, thank you so much for the $2. Sean with the $2. Pow Pow, thank you for the $7. Libby, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you. Fantic, thank you so much. I really appreciate the Fanatic, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Maudie, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $4 or $5. Thank you. Marie, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Joey, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Joey. Nina with the $5. Brian, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Fruit with the $5. Fanatic, thank you for the $5. Libby, thank you for the $20 for 25th Amendment, please. Seriously, though. Anthony, thank you for the $5. Miriam, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Max, leave the $20. Thank you so much. Saturday, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Scott, thank you for the $5. Cinda with the $10. Thank you. Elena, thank you for the $5. Joey with the $5. Donna with the $5. Ryan with the $5. Thank you. I think I'm fully caught up, everybody. Soul, thank you for the $5 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you. Let's go on the next person. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, I'm 31.
Do you support Donald Trump?
I do.
If you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
I'd still vote for Trump.
Okay. Why is that?
Most of his policies I support. I identify with most of his policies. Again, I don't think any one president in history, did people 100% agree with. I don't think 100% of people that were Republican agreed with Abraham Lincoln when he took away the Fourth Amendment and took away rid of habeas corpus.
So, we can talk about all that in a second. What do you agree with Trump more on?
I agree a lot with his economics.
Okay, what economic policy?
The fact that he wanted to raise the standard deduction, which significantly helps people like me with families.
Kamala Harris agreed with all the tax cuts applicable under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act for income earners under $400,000 a year. And Trump imposed extra taxes on you by imposing greater levels of tariffs. So under Trump's admin, everyone who made under $400,000 a year paid more in taxes comparative to Harris's plans.
Okay, how did he raise my taxes through tariffs? I don't have to buy a certain good. I can buy another one.
You do have to buy consumer goods, right? You
right,
can't
but I
live
can
life
choose
without
which ones
buying
I
consumer
buy,
goods.
correct?
What?
I can choose which goods I buy, correct? Like if I don't want to buy the name brand, could I not buy Great Value?
But it forces goods coming from other countries around the world to be more expensive.
Right, but not all goods come from other countries, correct? Some things are homegrown.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
Some things are homegrown, correct? I'm saying homegrown
a lot of stuff is not.
Made in the U.S. Right, well, a lot, but not everything, correct?
Wait, okay, so?
So if it's too expensive for me, I don't have to buy it. I can fix my truck instead of buying a brand new one.
Let me just let you know. Due to tariffs, all goods will be more expensive. Did you know that?
How can all goods be more expensive? You just give me the reasoning behind that statement.
Yeah, because it is the case that reduces the supply of goods in the country.
Okay. Sure, we'll go with that.
Does that make sense?
Yes, but then I wonder, how did it work in the 20s? We had tariffs before. Before we had income tax, we had tariffs.
Yeah, but
income tax was made to fund wars.
What were the level of tariffs that we had at that time? And also the specific tax we had at that time through tariffs. That was not funding Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, food stamps, unemployment insurance. It wasn't funding the military we have right now. It wasn't funding jack shit, okay? We didn't have, literally jack shit back then from a federal government perspective. We live in society. We don't want to live 100% solely 100% independent from each other. We live in a society. We live together. We live to benefit the community.
Okay. I mean, I can see your point on that. I don't have the numbers. I just know there is a fact that we've had tariffs in the past. And they seem to work.
Okay. I don't think they worked then. I think they were bad then. At what time? Now, give me the time period they worked.
Again, I don't know the exact dates on that. That I'll admit that is a subject I'm weaker in knowledge on. I just know we had them, and we didn't have income taxes. Now, I agree with you. I mean, it's a fact. We also didn't have all these. I'm looking for the right word. We didn't have Social Security. We didn't have all these programs that we have now. That didn't come till FDR. And I agree with you on that. But at the same time, as I said again, I voted for Trump because he wanted to lower my taxes, or he ran on that. Now I haven't
Trump,
experienced the
do you make
tax
under
season under Trump
$400,000 a year?
yet.
Do you make under $400K a year?
Yes.
Then your taxes have been raised because of Trump.
Well, we'll have to see in April of 26.
No, I'm not saying federal income tax. I'm saying tariffs. Increase your taxes more than what you would have had specifically through the Harris administration. The Harris administration would have kept all the tax cuts that you would receive through the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act and through Donald Trump's tax policy. Every single one of them you would have received.
Okay, at what level of government will this affect my taxes then? Does it affect me at the state
Tariffs,
level?
when you buy consumer products, they'll be more expensive. And when you buy more expensive consumer products, you'll have less disposable income. You're spending a greater proportion of your income on consumer goods.
That's granted that no new trade deals are made, correct? If new trade
None
deals
of
are
the trade
made,
deals
then
have
that
benefited the
changes.
conditions in terms of trade.
Okay. Now, can I name some other policies that I agree with him on? Because I would like to substantiate my argument. I agree with him on a big topic that I've heard from Dean Withers, and I've heard it being kicked around a lot, and I've been wanting to debate it, is the whole sexual exploitation thing. I'll start by saying maybe he did, but I want to ask you a question. How do you feel about the NCAA rolling out this new policy saying that men, biological men, cannot compete in women's sports? Do you agree that before that was sexual exploitation? By letting a biological man compete in a women's sport.
So there are more sexual assault allegations from different women targeted towards Donald Trump than there were trans people competing in the NCAA.
Right, but I'm asking, is it sexual exploitation in the act?
You said the WNBA? Is that what you said?
No, I said women's sports, just across the board.
Okay, women's sports across the board did not say that.
In the NCAA policy, it does say that. Women, biological men.
Now we're
cannot
talking about
compete in
NCAA,
women's
again,
sports.
there are more people specifically who have came out and said that Donald Trump sexually engaged in sexual misconduct towards them or sexually assaulted them, comparative to specifically trans people in the NCAA.
Okay, I'm just trying to pin you down and get you to answer the question.
Yeah,
My original question
I think after
was,
multiple years of HRT, there's no specific advantage that would make it unfair. And the idea that trans people playing in sports, right, is an issue even to be addressed on this level is fucking nuts. I can't even believe that we're having this conversation. It's a non-issue.
how's it a non-issue?
It is a non-issue. Can name a single trans person dominating sports?
Yeah. I
Go
can't name them by name, but there was a boxing match in the Olympics where a woman had to actually box a biological man.
So,
and she had to forfeit.
In boxing, people specifically choose to box with them or not.
Okay.
It's consensual. They choose to do that, right?
Correct. Under the policy, it was legal.
So the person who fought them specifically, right, what consented to fighting them, knowing that they are trans.
Yes.
Okay, so then what's your issue?
My issue is that a biological man should not compete in women's sports.
Okay.
It's not an even playing field.
Yeah, so I doubt you could specifically even provide an example, right? In terms of the scenario, like I know for people in the chat, like he's actually doesn't even referring to a scenario where there's someone who's trans, but in the context of any boxing scenario, it would be a specific consensual agreement specifically to engage in that, right? So then the person specifically that they're engaging in like the fight with, you're saying that they shouldn't be allowed legally to be able to engage in that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so again, did you hear the points though? Like again, one, that specifically the scenario that you're talking about in terms of fighting, they were biologically female, and then two, right? It is the case that like again, there'd be a consensual private agreement to engage in a fight. You're saying they illegally should not be able to. They should not be able to do so legally, is your argument, in a private company setting.
What do you mean by private company?
Yeah, like a private company specifically shouldn't be able to allow for two consenting adults to engage in a boxing match.
If it's private, then fine. I mean, you can do what you want in your own house, correct?
Okay,
I mean,
that's the condition for what we're talking about. But so what's your point here? This is a non-issue. Again, non-issue.
okay. Well, let's move to immigration then, because I would like to build on what the other guy said.
Okay,
Because
I
I
have a
feel
question.
like
You care about women, correct?
Yes.
You don't want men in women's spaces, correct?
Yes.
So would you ever vote for a man that bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they were changing without their consent?
I didn't know about that when I voted for him, but also, it's not black and white.
So would you vote for him in that context?
Yes. Knowing what I know now, I would still vote for him. People knew things about Biden, and
So
they
do
still
you, so
voted
do you
for him. That's
actually
not-
care
doesn't
about
make it wrong.
protecting women's spaces, or are you just saying that as a talking point against trans people?
I do care about protecting women's spaces.
Then why are you voting for Donald Trump even though he bragged about walking into changing rooms of naked women while they were changing without their consent?
Again, I didn't know that at the time.
Well, you do know now, and you still said that you would support him knowing that now.
Yes, because I support more of his policies than I don't support. And
What policies did he pass specifically make up for the fact that he was literally bragging about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent?
Oh, and also, was it labeled a changing room or was it backstage? Because
It
I've
was
heard
a changing room, and
multiple.
Donald Trump acknowledged it. Donald Trump acknowledged that he knew that they had no clothes on, they're changing, and he's saying that he would get away with it.
I've listened
Do you
to
want
the
me to play the
clip,
clip?
though. He didn't. Yeah, you can play the clip, but I don't hear.
You don't hear what?
I don't hear him say changing room, and I don't hear him say they were naked. I hear him say he walked backstage and he inspected.
It's your obligation to do that.
So you have done that. Now, tell
Well,
me
I'll
what
tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show.
Yes.
And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. I want to make sure that
You're like a
everything is
doctor.
good.
You're there.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible looking women. And so I sort of get away with things like that.
He said no clothes.
Okay, well, let me ask you this about that. I just want to draw a parallel, go back to what you were saying earlier. If a biological man is in the locker room of a women's sports team, does that make it any different that he sees them naked? Do we know for a fact that he's not attracted to women and men, but he identifies as a woman? Which is fine,
So
by the way.
Don't do this. So trans people, specifically trans women, are not a harm to cis women in the context of these spaces, right? The harm is cis men like Donald Trump, right? So if you want to talk about the actual harm and the threat specifically, it is not.
But how can you
it is
say
not trans
100%?
women. Also, secondly, do you think that women in general who are lesbian should not be allowed into the changing rooms because they find other women sexually attractive?
Again, that's not the argument. If this was
That
a
sounds
woman
like
that
your
went on
argument because you
Howard
brought up the
Stern-
sexual attraction.
No, let me ask you. If it was a woman on Howard Stern, say it was Kamala Harris, and she was bragging because
Kamala.
just say she was a
And
lesbian
also,
for the sake
do you
of
want to
argument.
answer this? You're the one that still will vote for Donald Trump, even though he bragged about walking in the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent. And an 18-year-old came out and said there were 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms, so Donald Trump would barge in.
Let me ask you this: why has it never seen the light of day in court? If all these people came forward, why has it not seen the light of day in court? Why have there not been hearings? Why
yeah,
has this not been brought in front of a court?
Yeah, so specifically, just because it hasn't been brought in front of a court doesn't mean it's not a bad thing, right? There would specifically have to be legal precedence for it, right?
Right,
order to
but
be
we
able
live
to
in
do
a
so.
country where
Wait, Donald Trump literally bragged about it. You understand?
We
that,
live
right?
in a
You're-
country
and you're
where
literally going to say that it
innocent
didn't
until
happen when
proven
Donald
guilty.
Trump bragged about it. He
I'm not
admitted
saying it didn't
on a
happen, but I'm
public
also not
platform.
saying it did.
He admitted it on a public platform. You still don't believe.
He admitted on Howard Stern, a syndicated radio show, where it's all about shock and awe.
I'm sorry. Does that take away the fact that he said something that is so fucking disgusting?
Well, I mean, if we went through everything you've said in your life, would we not find anything disgusting? Were
I'm
you
sorry.
never drunk?
You wouldn't find me specifically saying that. That's fucking nuts. No, never at any point in my life would I fucking say that, or did I fucking say that? That's fucking vile. That's absolutely vile.
I wouldn't judge you upon one statement. I don't even know
I'm
you.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm also literally a 23-year-old. Donald Trump was literally, right, like 50 years old when he talked about this. Okay?
So age equals wisdom, age equals everything?
Yes, age absolutely allows for someone to understand things to a greater extent, right, and to have experiences with how things operate and what you should do
So
as
I
a person.
understand things better than you because I'm older than you. I'm 31. You're 23.
You should, but you don't.
On the basis of that,
You should, but you don't.
then your logic is flawed. And
No,
age does not.
I'm
in
just
fact
saying
make
you
smarter.
should, but you don't.
Okay, but I'm just going off of what you're saying on the strength of your word. Off of what's coming out your mouth, you're saying that age equals knowledge, which is in
No,
fact
that's not
false.
what I said. That's not what I said.
Then why does it even matter?
I said the old, like, for example, we're not talking about some 13-year-old on Call of Duty saying something. We're talking about the guy who's 50 years old, who's an adult, right? Going on a public radio and saying this in front of people, thousands of people, and if actually millions of people, technically, since millions of people have seen the video. I have a question. If your daughter or your sister, right, was in the changing room when Donald Trump barged in, would you still vote for him?
I don't know, man. I don't know on that one. But then I would have been an eyewitness
What do you
to it. I would
mean
have
you
seen
don't
it with my
know?
own eyes.
What
Because
do you
I don't
mean you
believe
don't know?
everything I hear on media. I don't believe
You
everything
don't
I hear on the radio.
you wouldn't believe your daughter or your significant other or your sister?
You know what I would believe? If a jury of his peers found him guilty, I would believe it.
A jury of his peers indicated that he
Because
sexually
you're
abused.
innocent,
Wait,
so
wait. A jury
proven
of his
guilty
peers. A jury
through
of
due
his
process.
A jury of his peers indicated that he sexually abused Eugene Carroll. Do you believe that?
What's that? I'm sorry.
A jury of his peers indicated that he sexually abused Eugene Carroll. Do you believe that?
Was he convicted?
He was held civilly liable unanimously amongst a jury of 9 people for forcefully penetrating Eugene Carroll's vagina against her will. You said with a jury of his peers. That's a jury of his peers.
So what's the definition of civilly liable? Obviously, that doesn't mean
Liable in a civil court.
So this is a civil matter.
Do you know what a civil court is?
Yeah, that's for small claims. That's for small things. Like, for
It's
instance,
not necessarily small things.
when
right?
O.J. Simpson,
there are large claims that can be addressed by civil courts. Right? It's just specifically a case where it's about suing, right? And it's about money, monetarily speaking, rather than specifically criminal and like you go to prison type stuff. Now, if you want to reference, again, the reason why it was in a civil case and not a criminal case, it's because of statute of limitations in New York that says after 5 years, you cannot try your abuser, regardless of the amount of evidence that you have, which is ridiculous and should not exist. No statute of limitation should exist for SA. Victims take decades to come out in many circumstances, and they should not be restricted from being able to hold their abusers accountable.
it sounds like you hold a lot of utopian views.
How is that
You have to
utopian
have
for me to say that we shouldn't have statute of limitations for sexual abuse? How the fuck is that utopian? What?
Because how about all the victims that got accused of rape, but they were found innocent? Statutory limits.
So specifically, if you want to reference people who are innocent, right, and it is the case that they were falsely accused, around 2 to 10% of cases, and that's prior to them being held liable or convicted.
But they're out there. They are out there. Do you think an innocent man should do a day in prison? Do you think an innocent
I don't
person-
think innocent people should be held accountable for things that they didn't do, right? But the point I'm making is that Donald Trump is most likely guilty. Not only was he held liable, but he lied about the set of the circumstances of the case. He said they never met. There's a picture of them together. He said that he wouldn't have sexually abused her because she's quote-unquote not his type. But then the deposition mistook her with his ex-wife, indicating that they're both his type or both not his type, so he would have sexually abused her either way. That's how much of a sick fuck he is.
Okay. That's your view on
Do you
that?
still support him?
Yes.
Dude, you're
can't,
such a
you
cult
can't
member,
tell
bro.
me definitively.
You're such
you
a
have
cult
not
member, bro.
stated- I'm such a cult member?
Yes, you'll support him literally even though he was held civilly liable unanimously amongst a jury of his peers, right, for sexual abuse. You said if a jury of his peers indicated that he was guilty of something, you would believe it, and now you don't. You're such a fucking cult member.
I'm not a cult member, but if you want to throw that out there, that's fine. Let's continue.
Sorry, a big cult. You're a big cult member because technically, people can. I've had one person in the past dispute that he was in a cult because he said a lot of people support Trump, not because it's like cult-like in terms of its, how they form their beliefs and stuff like that, but simply because, it was a large group of people.
Hey, that's fine. You want to label me? That's fine. Let's continue. Come on. This is good stuff. This is good stuff we're putting out here. You want to ask me about immigration? Do you want me to say the stuff about
honestly,
Jesus?
is there anything that would change your mind? Like genuinely, I'm thinking this is a waste of time at this point.
Is there anything that would change your mind?
Yes.
It's
if Kamala Harris were held civilly liable of sexual abuse, right? I wouldn't support her.
So that's the only thing.
Yeah, if Kamala Harris incited a violent insurrection at the Capitol, I would not support her. If Kamala Harris pardoned violent rioters who beat police officers on January 6th after inciting a violent insurrection at the Capitol, I would not support her. If Kamala Harris called for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, while violating people's First, Second, Fourth, Fifth, and 14th Amendment rights simultaneously, I would not support her.
Didn't Biden pardon some questionable characters right before he left office? I think one of them was a former sexual predator.
Who?
Let me look it up.
Go ahead. Alrighty. Let me thank some people in the meantime. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up, everybody. It'll help get it out to more people. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes. I think we currently have 1,890 likes right now. Let's try to get to 2,000, 3,000 if we possibly can. I would really, really, really appreciate it. Feisty, thank you for the $2. Thank you. Ray, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $10. Marin with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Literally, though. Pow, thank you so much for the $14. Thank you so much. Absolutely. Thank you. Morgan, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you. Nice Baby, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. STH, thank you so much for the $20. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. Patricia, thank you for the $10. Thank you. Sarah with the $2. Thank you. Technically, we do. I'm not sure, though. If you're on YouTube, though, hit that thumbs up. Keep hitting that thumbs up. Let's try to get to 3,000 likes, everybody. I would seriously really appreciate it. We have 1,950 in terms of likes right now. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. I think we have another hour and 20 minutes or so left on the stream, everybody. Tiffany, thank you for the $2. Literally, though. Absolutely crazy. Marin, thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much, as always. Thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Najia, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I will. Woo! Shannon, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much, Shannon. Absolutely, I really appreciate it. Thank you. All right, give it a second for him to find this information, everybody. Give him a second.
I found it.
You found it? What'd you find?
I found that he pardoned two Chinese spies whose relative had over 10,000 images of child pornography on their computer.
Whose relative? Oh, I'm sorry. Relative? Did you say relative?
Yes.
Are people responsible for their relatives' crimes?
I mean,
you said someone who did this themselves. They had a relative? What type of reaching is that? They had a relative that did this?
I am reaching a little bit on that one. I'll give you that. He pardoned over 15,000 people, though. I'm sure that one of them.
I can't even believe you just said that without a straight face, super confident. He's like, they had a relative that did this. The president of the United States says he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He calls his daughter voluptuous, said she's always been voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive. Said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter. Said he had sex in common with his daughter when she said real estate and golf. Said yeah to Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass. And again, someone whose relative had CP is comparable to Donald Trump pardoning violent rioters. Interesting.
I'll give it to you. All those statements, they're very weird. I wouldn't say that about my daughters, but it's not legal to say that. It's very weird. But also, we've had other presidents that said very weird things, did very weird things. Lyndon Baines Johnson was a known womanizer, known to have had affairs.
Wait. Just because other presidents, like in the past, did bad things, doesn't justify Donald Trump doing bad things.
No.
And also, did Kamala Harris do this? Can you name one time Kamala Harris did that?
I can't.
That's the candidate you're comparing to. So you have a choice for someone who did not do that.
I mean, if that's the case, we can compare Joe Biden too.
Okay. I'm confused. Your point is Joe Biden was not the last candidate. Kamala Harris was.
They both were candidates in the same election. Were they not? Were they not?
He was not nominated the candidate. She was.
In fact, he was.
No.
He stepped down.
You get nominated at the DNC.
Okay. So is that your whole thing for Trump? Is it all hinges on that?
Well, I mean, on what?
That's your hill
I
that
named
you're
a
gonna
lot of.
die
I
on.
named a lot of things. Just and hinges on what?
It hinges on that whole beauty pageant. Because that's all I've heard you guys bring up. That's your whole basis of argument.
That's not the only thing. I brought up so many things. Held civilly liable of sexual abuse. Bragged about walking in the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. Right? He is a
how is
serial
that
adulterer.
illegal to say that he would date
Right?
a
He
10-year-old
incited a
girl?
violent
It's
insurrection at the
gross.
Capitol. What?
It's gross, but it's not legal to say things like that. It's not.
Wait, I'm
You
sorry.
can't
Just
be
saying
held.
just saying it's not illegal doesn't mean it's okay.
Okay, so how do you know everything Kamala's ever said?
Kamala. We can see that she
Kamala,
hasn't
I'm
said
sorry.
anything specifically that is bad in that
On the
context.
record. On the record.
Well, you have no evidence. Where's the corgi? Or that's for them. Jeez.
Okay, then we're spinning wheels saying that.
What's up?
You're spinning wheels saying that. Then you're not giving me a valid basis for an argument because she's not on record saying it. At least not yet. She's still alive.
Yeah.
Still a long
if you
time to
can't,
live,
if
so
you
it
can't
still
see
can
that
come
she's
out.
said anything bad, and you can see that Trump said things that are bad, you can't say as a response to Trump saying things bad is Kamala Harris probably or possibly said maybe something in her life that was bad. That's not a response to Donald Trump doing things that are bad, saying that possibly she did something that's bad. That's ridiculous. That's absurd. That's like you calling out your partner for cheating on you, and they're being like, "Well, you could have possibly cheated on me." What? No, I didn't, and I'm providing you evidence right now that you did. Stop deflecting from that, right? You possibly could have. You possibly could have cheated on me. What? What reason do you have to believe that? Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean. Now ask me about the immigration. Ask me about the immigration. Come on. One more. 3 strikes, I'm out. There was 2 questions that we debated on.
Okay.
Ask me. One more about immigration.
Name one way that undocumented immigrants being provided a pathway to citizenship, if they've not committed a violent crime or bad crime, would harm our society.
Don't they have a pathway coming in the legal way?
No, where they don't have to leave the
Under the
country.
law?
A pathway where they do not have to leave the country. Name one way that would harm our society.
Well, it wouldn't, but how would you plan to implement it? How would you plan to implement it? Why has nobody done it already? Yeah, I can agree with you on certain things, but let's get to the meat and potatoes of it all.
Okay, how
How
would we get that done? Well, we support candidates. We support candidates that agree with that policy, right?
Okay. I'm saying I am for it if there is a way. How would you implement it? Say you were a senator and you were going to write this bill, you were going to author this bill. What would be your means of doing it? How would you get these third world countries to speed up their release of information? Because they're third world countries, some of them. Not every country is like the United States. Some of these countries barely have any infrastructure. So how can you expect them to get faster with how they release documents.
The reason why it takes long for people to go through the context of the country legally and through the legal immigration process is not because of other countries not cooperating with the United States. There's no evidence for that. Secondly, if we want to talk about this,
how would you pay for it?
We're talking about people who are already in the country. So we're just providing them a pathway to citizenship. How will we pay for it? It costs less than to deport people. How are you paying for deportations? Especially because you lose out on tax revenue in the long run.
That sounds like a Southern Confederate argument from the 1800s.
What?
Why get rid of the slaves? That's our labor. It's free labor. We're losing out on revenue.
I'm sorry.
That's the same argument that Southern Democrats made in the 1800s.
I'm advocating for immigrants to be provided a legal status, meaning that they can't be given anything.
But you said because we will lose revenue.
I'm sorry. Are you really comparing that to slavery? Are you really comparing that to slavery?
No, I'm comparing you to a Southern Democrat.
How?
I'm comparing your ideals to a Southern Democrat.
What Southern Democrat?
The Southern Democrats of the 1800s and the early 1900s.
That's obviously ridiculous for you to say that. And by the way, they were conservatives. So you say Democrats. They were conservatives, yes. Conservatives were the ones that specifically advocated, right, for slavery. Conservatives were the ones that advocated against women's right to vote. Conservatives were the ones that advocated against the civil rights movement and advocated against the integration of school systems.
The Republicans
Conservatives were the ones on the wrong side of history in all of these circumstances. So if you want to talk about specifically what side there was, you have to acknowledge the party switch. Ideologically speaking, you have to acknowledge that you were on the wrong side of history in every single one of these situations.
There was no party switch. The Republicans sponsored every civil rights bill that ever hit the floor.
I'm sorry. Do you think those Democrats were liberals? Do you think that Abraham Lincoln was a conservative?
Yes, he was a conservative Republican. He was the founder of the Republican Party. He authored the Emancipation Proclamation.
So by the way,
his party was what passed the 13th Amendment.
According to that time, Lincoln was considered a quote-unquote liberal, okay? So if you want to talk about specifically the context of what we consider liberal, you have to understand the connotation of the time period you're in, right? In terms of what we mean by liberal in this context. Because it is the case that he was designated as liberal, right? Ideology has switched over time. That is a fact, right? For example, we can point to people like the Roosevelt, specifically Teddy Roosevelt, right? Was considered progressive, but was literally like a Republican, right? And then also switch parties after that. But we can point to just again throughout history, again, you have not had the same connotation of ideology throughout the context of each party. There's been a shift and a change. So look at it not in terms of Democrat, Republican back then. Look at it in terms of liberal, conservative. And if you want to look at it from that context, again, you're on the wrong side of history if you side with the conservatives. But the point that I would make there is that you agree with, you would not side with the conservatives. You would side with the liberals.
No. I'm a card-carrying Republican. And we can go to the 60s and I can give you an example.
I'm sorry. Hold up. Would you, so if you existed at that time period during the Civil War, you would say that you would agree with maintaining and keeping slavery as legal in the country?
No, I would have been a member of the Republican Party.
You would have been against it. So you would have been liberal. Lincoln. You would have been liberal for the time.
Mm.
Yeah, that was a liberal position at the time, okay?
Okay, but I also would have voted with the fellow Republicans for a civil rights bill in the 60s, which without the Republicans would not have passed. The Republicans were conservative in the 60s.
Okay, so
the party switch happened way before that.
Okay, so
if you want to call it,
you have to acknowledge the connotation of wait. So did you just agree that there was a party switch?
They say there was, but I don't see it personally.
Wait, so there wasn't a party switch. So you just contradicted yourself.
No, I just think it was rebranded.
What? What do you mean rebranded?
The Southern Democrats rebranded their policies, their ideologies. The Republicans rebranded theirs. Republicans have always
so party switch. So party switch.
So you're saying Southern Democrats became Republicans and then helped pass through the civil rights?
So again, the point that I'm making is that liberals were the ones advocating against all these. So you look at it in terms of ideology. Don't look at it in terms of party, because when you look at it in terms of party, you're going to get a lot very confused. So look at it in terms of ideology.
Not only that, he just said like a ton of stuff that was incorrect, and including
How
the
so?
Emancipation Proclamation being what freed the slaves. That's not true. Not even close to being true.
How did
And
not free them? They recognized them as people,
what did the
not
Emancipation
property.
Proclamation do?
What's that?
What did the Emancipation Proclamation do?
It proclaimed the freedom of the slaves.
Okay, and so were there still slaves in slavery while the Emancipation Proclamation was signed?
Yes.
Okay, so it didn't free the slaves.
Okay, so there's
what's Juneteenth? How long after the Emancipation Proclamation
Juneteenth is
did it
when
take?
people found out in Texas that they were in fact free.
Yes,
Because
so
news
that's
didn't
when
travel.
Juneteenth is when the actual slaves in Texas were begrudgingly finally freed. The last slaves in the U.S. How long after the Emancipation Proclamation was it until Juneteenth?
It was a few years. It was still the 18. I want to say it was
Exactly.
1889.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, the Emancipation Proclamation did not free the slaves. It took not only fighting the Civil War, but it took literally black people going to those other Confederate states in order to actually free those slaves that were still in slavery. And you
So in
sat there and
fact, some
denied the
were
party
free.
switch as well. I'm sorry.
So in fact, some were free. Correct? You just said
Yeah,
that.
but it
But
didn't
then
end
slavery
slavery.
did
There
end
was
with the
still
Emancipation
slavery.
Proclamation. Okay.
There were already certain black people that were
Okay.
free
People
during
break
that
the
time
law.
period.
People break the law every day, but it's
It
still a
wasn't
fact. It
about
was a
breaking the
law.
law. It's about the fact that slavery was still intact, and technically slavery is still intact today. But
How so?
again,
How
the
so?
prison system.
Technically.
There's still slavery in the prison system, and it's still literally written into the Constitution that slavery is allowed in the prison system.
Can you tell me where in the Constitution? What amendment?
13th Amendment.
The 13th Amendment allows for slavery? Because that was the
You
abolishment
want me
of
to
slavery.
read the 13th Amendment?
Please do. Please do.
No, you read it, bud.
Hey, he's the host. He offered to read it. I'm not going to tell him, no, don't give me information.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, I know I'm right in that aspect.
While Parker's pulling that up, you also denied the Southern strategy.
I don't care to read it.
The party switch.
You can look it up.
I mean, you offered. I'm not going to tell you no. That would be ignorant.
I think like if you were intellectually curious and you really wanted to know these things, like we just gave you the information, you should actually go find that out for yourself. But also, I mean, like I don't want to like completely derail everything. I want to move it along because
let's move it along.
you also denied the Southern strategy, right?
What do you mean by the Southern strategy?
That's what the party switch was called, the Southern strategy, where the actual conservatives that were the quote unquote Democrats switched parties and took the actual the Republican Party. Like you can look at their platform. And so the Republicans never passed the Civil Rights Act. It was the progressives. There's a difference, like Parker said, between conservatives.
Are you referring to the 60s or are you referring to 1800s? Please give some context.
The 60s. We're talking about when I just said the Civil Rights.
So we're talking about
Act.
Okay, but there were many civil rights acts. The 13th Amendment was a civil rights act.
When was the Civil Rights Act? When was the Civil Rights Act that actually gave black people equal rights and the ability to, yes.
Okay, the right to vote was in the 60s.
Exactly.
That was under
you already talked about it.
Right. They
so you know these things
there.
now. So
they put the bill out there, but without Republican support, it would not have passed.
Yeah, without LBJ, literally
Democrats voted for
without LBJ literally threatening people. He literally threatened people. LBJ was a president that was hated by the Republicans because he physically threatened them. He literally threatened to do harm. He had to drag them to vote this and support.
But they did vote.
It wasn't like the conservatives actually wanted to support this.
They backed the bill. The bill would have never passed without Republican support.
The
It would
point
not
that
have
I'm
passed
making
with
is
Democrat
wait,
support
but the point
alone.
that I'm making is you know these things, and so you were just saying all of those other things to be intellectually dishonest because I don't know if you didn't think Parker didn't know or like you thought you weren't going to get any type of
What was
pushback,
that
but you were
being?
literally
What was that being intellectually dishonest about?
Parker, didn't he just pretend that he didn't know what the Southern strategy was when you brought it up? He said there was no party switch, right?
No, you gave me some context, and I said, fine. If you want to say there was a party switch, that's your
But then you
opinion.
just said
It's not a
you
fact.
also just said the Republicans passed the Civil Rights Act.
Yes, without Republican support, the Civil Rights
But
Act of the '60s.
that's about how just about every bill in our history has worked. That you need
Not
support from
correct.
both parties. I said just
Not
about,
correct.
not all, just about.
Not even half. Not even half. Maybe half. Maybe half. But not
More
even
than
close to
half.
75%.
More than half.
That's a
You're being
false statement.
intellectually dishonest.
No, I'm not. That's a false statement.
Most bills take more than
Okay, when you
being
take a
passed by
test
party
and the true
lines.
false question says most or always, isn't it usually false? Is it not? Usually false. So, based upon what you're saying, I know that's false. You're just
Wait,
throwing
what?
shit. You're just throwing things out there to see where
No,
it sticks.
no, no. If you need to pass a bill into law, if you need 60 votes from the Senate, like it's
If you have 60
more often
Democrats
than
can
not,
pass the
you're not
bill.
gonna have more often than not, not gonna have 60 Democrats or 60 Republicans in the Senate. The Senate is always way closer. Again, you're being intellectually dishonest. Think about how many times the Senate has been controlled with a majority of 60 or more.
I'd have to research it, but I guarantee you it's been there. I would say
Yes, it
probably
has.
during
It has
Reagan.
been there. It has not been there often. That's the point.
What about the
And
House?
can you pass a bill into law without the Senate?
Yes, if it goes through the Senate and then comes back to the
The
House,
House,
you can
and then
pass
it
it through
goes
the
through
House.
again, and
It
they
does, no,
process.
it
Yeah,
doesn't.
it
It can
takes
go either
multiple.
way.
It
The
takes
Senate can.
multiple. It takes multiple attempts.
There
It
is no
takes the
order.
House
It just
and the
has to
Senate.
get through
The
both,
Senate has to send it back to the House with some
or vice
additional
versa,
provisions.
or vice versa.
Where does the bill start?
The bill starts in the House,
And you're being
but the bill
intellectually
can always
dishonest.
come back to the House.
Yes, yes, yes. The bill goes back to the House if the Senate makes changes because the House has to vote on it again.
Correct. But I mean, if the House has majority, it can pass. Correct.
So are they passing the bill without receiving the provisions from the Senate? They have to actually approve the provisions of the Senate. It's not
So
like
let,
the Senate
so
just
right
rejects it
after,
and then the
right
House can just
now,
take the bill and pass it.
right now, there is a bill on the floor of the Senate. If it passes, it's the clean resolution to bring our government back up, put the lights back on. If it passes the Senate, it goes to the desk of the president, not back to the House.
CRs are completely different than passing a bill.
How? They have to vote on it. Same
Yeah,
as a
it's
bill.
still different than a bill that
It
you
still
sign
goes
into
through
law.
committee.
That's an extension. There's a difference between an extension and signing something new into law.
Right, but we're talking about the practice, correct? The
No,
practice of
you're being
how our Congress
intellectually
works.
dishonest. You're literally trying to nitpick and you're literally trying to actually obfuscate because you know for a fact that you got put into a corner. You know that you're being intellectually dishonest because at first I was going to say you didn't know, but you know, and now that you know that me and Parker both know, now you're trying to dance around the fact. You've been saying
I'm
some
not
wild stuff
dancing.
and now you're completely checked. And so now
I'm
you're
not.
going all the way to how does a bill work? Like that's where
I'm
we are
not
now.
dancing around anything. I'm simply stating facts.
You are dancing around everything. And what facts did you state? Go ahead.
I say the fact that the Civil Rights Act in the 60s was backed by Republicans. He's saying that Lyndon Baines Johnson threatened them, which is not
You
on the
said it was
record anywhere.
passed. You said it was passed by Republicans, not
It
backed.
was. Look at the majority of the
Maga's not
votes on
known
that
for
bill.
knowing history for like very well. So
Look at the majority of votes on that bill that voted yay. They would be Republican, not Democrat.
can I ask you a few questions, man? Connor?
Yeah, I'm sure. Sure.
Yeah.
And let me just say,
can you name one? Can you name one fundamental value of America that Donald Trump upholds to a greater extent than Kamala Harris?
America first.
How so? In what way?
Keeping the money in America. More American-made goods.
He doesn't do
Let's
that.
see, what else?
How is Kamala Harris taking money out of America to a greater extent?
She didn't run on that. I can't tell you how she was not going to keep everything in America. I can just tell you about the man I voted for said he was going to put America first.
In what way?
And honestly,
in what way?
I don't think we're responsible for the upkeep of the world.
Wait, in what way is he making America? Is he putting America first?
Well, he cut a lot of useless funding.
Like what?
PBS.
That's not useless funding. You need that. You actually need
Let me
PBS.
ask you this.
You need PBS.
When you're in debt, let me ask you something. In your household, if you were in debt, massive
the
debt,
big beautiful bill added $3.4 trillion to the debt. Trump signed off on $4 trillion more debt-related spending in his first term comparative to the Biden-Harris administration. If you cared about debt at all, you would not support Donald Trump's bills. Massive tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires? Yes. PBS funding? No. What? PBS is a very small portion of that budget, man. You're giving more tax breaks to millionaires and billionaires by far.
How?
The
you
big
just asked
bill.
me if I made $400,000 or more.
Yeah,
if I made that,
so you're giving tax breaks to other people, and you're increasing your own taxes.
Okay, you're saying that's through tariffs, but that's also indirect. That's not directly. I don't have to buy
tariffs directly cause you to pay more because it increases the cost of consumer products that you buy. And if you spend your money on consumer products, which everyone does, you're going to pay more because of the tariffs.
Okay, companies like Arizona Tea, why has their price never went up? Why has it not went up since tariffs were implemented?
Because the owner has made a decision not to raise the price on their actual product. The owner has been on record saying that it does not take additional costs to raise for him to actually be able to make a profit off of Arizona Tea, and so he does not feel like he needs to increase prices in order to actually make a profit because he does not want to price gouge his consumer base.
So you admit the root of that problem?
No. That's a deliberate decision by a one-off owner. That is not a commonplace practice for any type of corporation.
Well, it should be. It should be.
Yeah.
Because that's what's called greed.
How about you tell them that, man? Okay, how about we put laws in place to do that?
By not buying their stuff.
Okay,
by not buying
now
their
you're
stuff,
saying
I would tell them
so now
that.
you just said inflation is caused by price gouging, right?
Yeah.
And give companies even more money to price gouge us, right?
Mm-hmm.
How am I saying it gives them more money to price gouge them? We're just talking about tariffs.
You want to give them more money because you want this big tax break for them.
Also, Parker, the thing that he's missing is, let's say, even if he doesn't partake in certain products that are affected by tariffs, we live in a society. Like, just because you're not paying more does not mean that there's some type of trade-off that the people around you are affected by. So let's say that, you are a business owner or you're someone that actually relies on other people for other products. And so just because you're not buying something directly that costs more, there could still be American-made consumers that actually sell items that have to pay higher prices because of tariffs, and they're still going to pass those higher prices off to you. So just because you directly avoid any type of foreign products does not mean that you directly avoid tariffs.
You don't have to avoid all foreign products. Not all foreign products have tariffs on them right now. Not every country in the world we trade with has a tariff right now.
Basically, most. You understand that Donald Trump imposed tariffs
on countries
all around the world.
My guy.
Right?
My guy. You're going with most? Come on now, man. My argument to this is buy the products that are not tariff or are not having a crazy increase in price. You're saying most countries have tariffs. So, in fact, it is possible to buy goods that do not have a price hike.
It's a very small portion of the goods, though, right? So it's going to cause overall inflation amongst the entire market, and especially for domestic manufacturers that rely on aspects of their production process that come from countries around the world, right? So you understand that?
Okay, so why is the housing market projected to drop its interest rates in the first quarter of next year?
Yeah, so because they're specifically, we saw such bad jobs reports numbers that they're willing to risk higher inflation in order to like ensure that we have growth within our economy because it was really, really bad.
It's literally
Okay,
a
so
forced
historically,
pause.
when you drop interest rates, does inflation go up or it goes
Yes,
down?
it goes up.
It goes up?
Yeah,
Okay, so why in the 80s were interest rates through the roof and inflation was an all-time high, and then in the 90s it came
because
down?
they increased interest rates to be able to mitigate that level of inflation. It was a response to stagflation in the 70s.
Which,
Okay.
fun fact, that's actually what we're heading towards right now, stagflation. Literally.
Okay, we're already at the peak.
What
So
peak what?
it's not going to go any higher. Interest rates cannot go higher. They
No,
literally can't afford them to
interest
go
rates
higher.
can go higher. They absolutely can, especially if we see runaway inflation.
Okay. And
If you
that's
think
if
this
the
is the peak
tariffs
of
don't
inflation,
work,
then
right?
you're completely lost. What's up?
So you think that this is all hinged on tariffs not working?
No, tariffs don't work and they're bad, especially universalized tariffs like this.
Then why
And
do
we
other
know
countries
this.
have tariffs on us and have had tariffs on us
They
for
typically
decades?
do so on specialized industries to build up domestic manufacturing, not universalized.
Exactly. And it's already been shown that Donald Trump's tariff policy is not working, whether it's the lack of the ability to make deals or the overall impact of the United States citizens in multiple ways. This actual procedure, literally, the stock market today had its biggest loss since April because of Donald Trump threatening more rounds of tariffs across the board and also increasing tariffs to China to 100%. Like the idea of blanket tariffs do not work.
So you would say tariffs do work, just not blanket tariffs.
Yes. Some specialized tariffs are okay.
Okay. So are all countries, do they all have a blanket tariff? And I already know the answer to this. It's no.
Okay, just because it is the case that all countries don't doesn't change anything. There are a lot of countries that do.
But you deal most of the time with most, words like most of the time. I'm saying the same
You
thing as
just
you.
used the word most. You literally just used the word most. You said most of the time you use most.
I'm saying that's what you deal with. You deal in
you just did
statements
it.
that usually have the word most in them.
Again, you're being intellectually dishonest again. You're
I'm just saying
trying
what
to
he
jump
said
through
out.
you're trying to jump through loops because again, Parker has you beat. Whenever someone pins you down on a point, you try to find a way to wiggle out of it by using like words, and you try to say, "Oh, most does not mean all or 100%." No one's sitting here talking in definitive points. Like we understand that the actual policy of international governance through domestic or international policy, nothing is 100% sure. Like that's you being intellectually dishonest again.
Okay, so would it be intellectually dishonest for you to say that tariffs won't work?
No, because we have evidence that indicates that they don't work.
Okay, but you just said specialized
And also
tariffs work.
wait. We
Specialized
never said
tariffs
no.
work.
We never said exactly. We never
You
said
did say
tariffs
that,
don't work. We
Okay,
said
but he
blanketed
just said
tariffs
that.
don't work.
Yes, but he didn't specify.
He
We're talking about Trump's tariffs. That's the conversation.
Okay, but they're not all blanket tariffs, correct?
They're mostly blanket tariffs. So if we're talking about his overall tariff policy, it mostly includes blanket tariffs. But so
Yeah. Well, I would like to end if you're ready for me to get off. I don't know. I know you would probably like to get other views in here. I would like to say it was a pleasure talking to you.
For sure. All right. Appreciate you coming up.
Yeah. What were you going to say? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, I was going to ask if you're Antifa.
No.
No? So are you pro-fascism or neutral?
I'm a
on fascism?
Republican.
No, I'm asking, are you Antifa?
And I told you, no, I'm a Republican.
Okay, so are you saying Republicans are fascists, or what are you saying?
No, I'm saying Republicans are Republicans.
Yeah, so do you know what Antifa means?
Anti-fascism.
Yeah, so are you anti-fascism?
Of course he knows.
Again, I'm a Republican, as I assume you are a Democrat. Are you Antifa?
Yes, I'm Antifa.
You're a member?
Antifa is not an organization. It just means anti-fascist.
Oh, so you're saying it's a movement? Okay.
It's
I'm a
no, it's an
Republican, my guy.
ideological belief.
He knows that.
And ideologically, I am a Republican.
Are you ideologically Antifa?
No, I'm ideologically.
No. So are
a
you
Republican.
are you neutral on fascism or are you pro-fascism? Which one?
Again, I'm a Republican. You're trying to pin me down. I'm telling you what I am. I'm telling
So
you what I believe.
are Republicans pro-fascism or neutral on fascism?
I can't answer that. I can't answer for every Republican. I'm sure there
So
are
how
some
about you?
out
How
there.
about you? Can you answer for yourself?
I'm against fascism.
So you're Antifa.
No.
What?
No.
You just said you're anti-fascist.
Right. You have to be Antifa if you're anti-fascist.
So are you? You're a domestic terrorist according to Trump's administration.
I have a
I
better
don't think
question.
I am. I don't think I am. I own my own house.
Hey,
Well, no,
I
hey,
have
Connor.
freedom of
Antifa. You're
speech.
Antifa, dude. You're Antifa.
Hey, Connor.
My rights
who,
have never been threatened.
Connor, who would actually make Antifa, people that are anti-fascists, who would make them terrorists?
Who would make them terrorists?
Yeah, who would say they're terrorists? Who would be in opposition of people that are anti-fascist?
In my guess, it would be the people on the other side of the punches at these.
So who would be the other
fascists.
side of? Yeah, exactly. He knows
So
that.
fascist,
How
right?
can
He
you
knows
say
that.
they're all fascists?
So wait. So
Who would consider Antifa, people who are anti-fascist, terrorists? Obviously fascists, okay? So doesn't that indicate that Trump is likely a fascist?
Yes.
Wasn't Joe Biden against Antifa too?
But what about Biden? No, he wasn't.
When was Biden against Antifa?
He was against the riots.
Wait, that doesn't mean he was like not anti-fascist. He is anti-fascist.
Against what rights?
But he was against Antifa riots.
He was against
What
the January
Antifa
6th
Was he not?
riots. Well, because he
Yes,
thinks that
he's
he
been
thinks
on-
Antifa FBI agents under Trump's administration were
I didn't
involved
say
in
that. I
January
didn't
6th.
say that. There were Antifa riots long before January 6th.
Okay, what
What
There were
Antifa
Antifa
riots?
riots
What
going all the
Antifa
way
riots?
back to Obama.
What Antifa riots?
You know what he's trying to say, Parker. What Antifa riots? What were the Antifa riots?
I'm just saying that movement's been around longer
What was
than
the
Trump.
Antifa riots? Say it, Connor.
What are you trying to get me to say?
What you know you were about to say before you realized we knew what you were trying to say, because you've been again intellectually dishonest this entire time.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What riots are you referencing?
I'm referencing the riots during Obama, during Biden, during Trump's first
So
term.
Antifa riots under Biden and Obama? What
Okay,
which
what about
one?
the Portland, Oregon? What about Minnesota?
Minnesota when? What year?
So that was that 19 or 20?
So under Trump's
It was
admin?
one of- Yeah, it was under Trump.
Oh, what do they call that?
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. What do they call
riots?
that?
What riots are you? I'm
I think they
unfamiliar.
call it the Minnesota riot.
Connor, I'm unfamiliar with those riots. Can you enlighten me? What happened in 2020 that people rioted about?
Civil rights, I'm pretty sure.
Huh? Who's civil rights? What do you mean? I'm unknowledgeable about this topic, Connor.
Oh, you are? Because it sounds like you're asking open-ended questions.
Oh, does it sound like I'm being disingenuous like you?
Yeah, it does.
Admits to being
Yeah, it does.
disingenuous is crazy. The concession is nuts.
It does, though. So just go ahead and say it.
No, you were trying to lead to BLM. That's what you were trying to do. You're trying to equate BLM to Antifa.
Do you?
So wait, so then are you a part of? So then did you?
So you would say BLM's not Antifa?
Yeah, those are
BLM's
separate.
not
Those are separate
anti-fascist?
ideologies, but oftentimes
Yes.
they might be in alignment because a lot of the people who are
Exactly.
advocating for Black Lives Matter are absolutely going to be against fascism. I
Okay,
would
so
argue
could you
practically
say
everyone.
it was an Antifa riot? Would you
Well,
say
no.
it was an Antifa
No.
riot?
No.
No, I
No,
would
But you
not.
just said they can be linked.
No,
No.
They
because
can be
Antifa
linked.
is
It's
not
an
an
ideology.
organization or even a specific movement necessarily.
Mhm.
Right,
It's just
but
an ideology.
BLM is
Exactly. Where
BLM is an
BLM or
organization.
exactly
So they
that's
can have an Antifa ideology, correct?
BLM.
Or members
Wait,
can.
wait. So did they have an Antifa ideology? Sure, yeah. But
Okay, so
wait,
could
wait,
you have
wait. So
an Antifa
wait, I have a
riot?
question. Does Trump have an Antifa ideology?
Let's see. When he runs in 28, you'll know.
Dude, wait. Oh, when he runs in 28. Okay, so you agree that he's a fascist and you support him?
yes.
Because
I'm
that's a
saying
violation
if
of the
and when he runs
Constitution.
in
So you're saying
28.
he's going to
If
violate the
and when he
Constitution and
runs
run
in
again in
28.
2028? That's not possible
I'm telling you right
constitutionally.
now, he's not Antifa if he runs in 28. But I'd be willing to
If
bet
he
he doesn't run in
if
28.
he's
Okay,
if he's
so
not
then,
Antifa, then why would if he's not, I'm sorry, if he's not Antifa, which we know he's not, and he said that Antifa is the problem and he makes Antifa terrorists, so he's on the opposite of Antifa, he's a fascist. He's openly admitting that he's a fascist.
literally.
He's
Okay,
saying
so
that
now
we
you're
stand in
saying
opposition
everything's
of
black and
these
white?
people that are anti-fascists.
You're saying that's black and white. That's a black and white issue. Either you are or you aren't.
I'm
I think
saying
that's
that
pretty
Donald Trump
clear.
You
meets
don't
all
think there's
14
any shades
I
of
think
gray?
they're like prepping the U.S. for just like them saying that they're fascists. Like honestly, like why do they say that? It makes them look stupid. It really does. When they're like, "Oh, Antifa's doing this today,"
You
they look
give me the
so
definition
stupid.
of
I'm
fascism?
sorry. It looks crazy.
Yeah,
Can you give
I
me the
can.
definition of
Yes,
fascism?
I got you. So I go through
literally
the
can.
Not
I
in
go
your
through
own
the
words.
Yeah, I go through the 14 points of fascism. The 14 points of fascism include, right, a powerful and continuing nationalism.
I'm sorry, I asked for the definition
I
out
am
of the
I,
dictionary.
I have it up right now because
I'm currently providing it for
okay.
you. Number one being powerful and continuing nationalism, disdain for the recognition of human rights, identification of enemies/scapegoats as a unifying cause, supremacy of the military, rampant sexism, controlled mass media, obsession with national security, religion, government intertwined, corporate powers protected, labor power suppressed, disdain for the intellectuals and the arts, obsession with crime and punishment, rampant cronyism and corruption, and fraudulent elections. That sounds a lot like Donald Trump, right?
Yeah, he meets
Okay,
all 14 tenets.
So can we at least agree? You said there was 8 points, right? 8 points of fascism?
14,
Oh, I'm sorry.
14
14.
characteristics.
There's
So
14 tenets. There's
in order
9
for us,
currently acceptable, but 14
so
expands
let's
on the
set the
9.
terms. Let's set the terms of this argument. If you were going to say somebody was a fascist, would you agree that it would have to at least meet more than one of those terms? Like at least more than half.
Yeah.
So if it's
It would
14,
have to be most of these. It's not just one. Yeah, if you just hit one of them, that does not make you a
Okay.
fascist.
So can you give me
Also,
8
just-
ways that he's a fascist?
Wait, hold on. Just to set this clear.
Can you give me
there's,
8?
wait, Connor, just so we're clear, there's 14 tenets of fascism, but there's 9 actual points that are recognizably acceptable in order to be deemed a fascist. And like Donald Trump hits all 14, not just the 9.
Okay, then give me 8. Just give me 8.
I already gave you all 14.
No, you want to know
No,
how
give
he...
me 8 ways Trump is actually meets that criteria.
Okay, let's go with it. Number 14 says fraudulent elections. So they claim that the elections are a complete sham, right? They're not free and fair without evidence, right? That's number 14. That's obviously true there. Do you agree?
Number 2...
Go ahead.
Oh, number 2, the disdain and recognition of human rights. Literally, Donald Trump is violating human rights, violating the Constitution with his mass immigration process and the detainment of people in the concentration camps across America, like Alligator, Alcatraz, sending the people to CCOT and also trying to send them to other countries that have horrible prison systems and known for unaliving people.
Number 13, rampant cronyism and corruption. Trump literally dropped a meme coin, right, and then rug pulled it, right? He literally was going up to fossil fuel companies saying, if you give me $1 billion for my campaign, I'll give you $110 billion in tax cuts. He took a gifts like $400 million jet from Qatar, right? We can point to plenty of the things specifically that Donald Trump does in terms of rampant cronyism and corruption.
Supremacy of the military. Donald Trump has not only tried to consolidate multiple forms of power under the executive branch, but they are going through a process of completely rebranding the military, including targeting transgender people by getting them out of the military, completely shifting the standards as far as the different levels of testing and also multiple requirements. He's also using the military in ways that shouldn't be used, violating multiple standing acts and the Constitution by deploying them in the United States, and also trying to activate the National Guard of other states to send them to other states against the wills of the governors.
That has been done many times.
Hold up. Okay, you could
When is,
remember. Go ahead.
He knows.
okay,
Go
okay, in
go ahead and
Alabama,
pivot while we wait. You don't want to hear all 8 points, but you wanted 8, and Parker and I are going band for band with points, and now you know that you're fucked, and
okay,
so now you're trying to get off.
I don't appreciate using that language. I haven't used that language on this cast. Anyhow,
I apologize for saying the F word.
I appreciate it. And I also apologize for cutting y'all off. I am in the wrong to cut you off. I'm going to make my argument when you're done. I'm sorry.
Okay. Number 5,
Go
rampant
ahead.
sexism. He was held civilly liable for sexual abuse of Eugene Carroll, forceful penetration of her vagina against her will. He said he would date a 10-year-old girl in 10 years. He said he had Howard Stern calling his daughter a piece of ass. He said he had sex in common with his daughter. He said his daughter has always been voluptuous, which means curvy and sexually attractive. He said he'd be dating his own daughter if it wasn't his daughter. He bragged about walking into the changing rooms of girls and mischievous mistakes. He quote-unquote owns the place to inspect them without their consent. So, I mean, we can point to that as well. That's obviously rampant sexism.
Religion and government intertwine. He literally keeps trying to place the Christian religion at the forefront of the United States government. He created not only his own quote unquote Trump Bibles, but they are working to sell said Bibles in different states like Oklahoma. He created a department within the government that's specifically meant to protect Christians. And he has continued to actually ostracize anyone that's not Christian, specifically Muslims, while, you know, in his first term having a Muslim ban, and his second term trying to reinstitute the Muslim ban and saying that at every point we should be a quote unquote Christian nation.
Yeah. Number 11, there's disdain for the intellectuals and the arts. Trump has not only defunded the World Health Organization, but NASA, the CDC. He's defunded specifically the EPA. He's actively defunded cancer research and development, specifically relating to plenty of different scientists, right, and the jobs that they get. You can literally ask anyone who's like currently working in the field. They actually, like, a lot of the jobs got cut. Like I've talked to people who work in the field, and a lot of the jobs are like not present, and they were significantly more present literally a year ago.
Number 12, obsession with crime and punishment. He literally is advocating for bringing back the DP, while also saying that people need to be actually put down in the streets. There's certain legislation on the dockets where they're trying to bring back public executions. And he has also been advocates for unaliving certain migrants as well. He has created his own police force with ICE by increasing their budget and militarizing them, and then also going through the process of deploying the National Guard as a police force to police Washington, D.C., and he's trying to do that in other states. That's 8 points. We literally went band for band without skipping a beat, and you told us to give you 8, and we gave you 8 with real examples.
Okay, now let me have my rebuttal. I would like to start with the National Guard deal. That is nothing new. Many presidents, Democrat and Republican, have activated the National Guard against the will of the governor of said state. It happened in Alabama when they integrated the colleges. If you remember, Kennedy activated the National Guard, and they went to Alabama, and that girl got to go to school. So that's nothing new. That's been happening forever. During the Watney Ring, during I'm saying it wrong. The riots in Los Angeles in the late 70s.
Watts.
The Watts riots.
Rodney King, is that what you're referring to?
That's one of them. National Guard was activated. The Watts riots too. Again, I'm butchering
all of those
the name.
had specific reasons, right?
Okay, every one of them has a specific reason. Kennedy activated the National Guard because Wallace was not going to let that girl go to school. And it was already a law. The law was on the books. They had to integrate. And he went against it. Kennedy had to make a stand. And Kennedy, by the way, was a Democrat.
Right. You're absolutely
Okay,
right.
that's
The governor did not allow integration. And so the National Guard was activated.
Kent State riots?
Yeah.
Kent State?
Right.
National Guard was activated
Wait,
against
hold
people.
on. Just I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt because you didn't interrupt us. So I would love
I
to
appreciate it.
speak to
It's
that,
fine.
but it's your call.
Okay, Kent State riots. That was also another one where a Democrat president deployed the National Guard. And I want to say that was Lyndon Baines Johnson. I want to say that was under his term that the Kent State riots happened. It was towards the end of Vietnam. Okay, so I'm done with that point. Let's move on to another one.
The things you just said does not negate the point that we made. You haven't actually disputed the actual point of, like, you naming other situations where the National Guard has been activated does not negate the point that Parker and I made about the multiple points of fascism that Donald Trump exhibited.
Okay,
If you
I'm just
wanted to
focusing
actually,
on that
if you
one point right now.
right, but
I'm
if you
not
wanted to
focusing on
actually
everyone.
right, but if you actually want to dispute one of the points of fascism, you would take one of the points that we made, take the example that we made, and then prove how the example is not a fascistic example. You don't want to give a
Okay,
general
the
example.
crime rate went down in D.C. after the National Guard got deployed, correct? Didn't it go down?
The crime rate
Or
was
is it
already
still at
going
the
down
same
prior
rate?
to the National
But
Guard
did
being
it
deployed.
keep going down? But did it keep going down?
Yeah, if you over police an
Yeah,
area that's already had a drop in crime, then yes, you're going to see even more of a drop in crime.
correct. So it worked, right?
Yeah, if you're running water in the bathtub and you have the water open
Just say, did
at
it work?
at like
Did it work?
40%, and then you open it up to 100%, is more water going to fill up faster?
As long as the drain's plugged.
And you're being intellectually dishonest.
No, the
Anyway, you
drain
got
has
it.
to be plugged for
No, I mean, but
stuff to fill up.
you know what you're saying isn't like, it's not like he did something to cause. It's not like the crime rate was going up in DC and then he did this and then it went down. It was already going down, and then he sent them in, and it just continued to decrease at a faster clip. That's
Is that
all
a
that
bad
happened.
thing? Would you say that's a good thing or a bad thing?
I think it was a worthless action.
Okay, but it's not fascistic. It still did a good thing. We
Okay,
equate
so when you talk
fascism with
about
negative
deploying
outcomes.
the National Guard in DC, are you talking about the which point are you talking about specifically? Are you
Deploying
talking
the
about the
national.
point? Are you talking about the point as far as number 4, supremacy of the military?
No, I'm talking about what point was it that you'd start throwing out the National Guard?
Number 4, the supremacy of the military.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me how deploying the National Guard in DC and other areas where governors are specifically not requesting the National Guard to be deployed, when courts are stopping him from deploying the National Guard. And so instead of actually deploying the National Guard for that state, he's pulling the National Guard. He's literally sending the National Guard from Texas to other states now because he knows that the Texas governor won't fight back. And he's sending the National Guard from Texas to Illinois, where Texas has a higher crime rate than Illinois. Why wouldn't he just deploy the National Guard in Texas?
I believe he deployed them to Chicago, not to Illinois as a whole state. I'm just saying, you know,
Being
you gotta
intellectually dishonest again, because
no, you
Chicago
have to
is
be
in Illinois.
specific. You're just painting a wide brushstroke.
I was
That's all
talking
you're
about
doing.
the 2 different states, but yes, specifically, he sent them from Texas to Chicago. It's same thing, bud. Stop it. And
Okay.
Illinois. I'm sorry, Chad. I know I have a bad habit of saying Illinois, but Illinois.
Okay, but say Chicago, because that's where they're getting sent. Just say the city.
You still haven't actually disproven the point that was made.
I'm saying there's not out of the norm to send the National Guard to a state without the governor's approval. That's all I'm saying.
You still
It's
haven't
not out of
disproved
norm.
the
So
specific
by
example
that,
that was given about Donald Trump.
how is that supremacy of the military? When in fact in California, the courts actually sided with him in the end. The court said, yes, you can keep ICE and the National Guard here. The court actually sided with him. Did they not?
The point that I'm making is
Why are
that
you not
Donald Trump.
answering that? Just answer that.
Because
I've
you're
answered every question you've
because
thrown at me.
you're dancing around and you're
I'm
trying
not
to
dancing.
actually.
You won't answer that question. You're
When did
dancing
I
around
say
that.
anything? When did I say anything about California?
Okay, I'm just saying there's an instance where the court did agree with him. The court
When
did
did I
pass
say
it.
anything about California? Did I not? I named specific examples of why I said that he is instituting supremacy of the military, yet you haven't addressed any of those things and you keep giving general examples.
All right. How about the rebranding? Do you know right now the military is under a recruiting crisis?
Connor.
Yeah.
So, which points did you disagree with of the characteristics we brought up? Was it every single
Supremacy
one
of military?
That's just
No, I didn't disagree with every
he
single
literally-
one.
he
I'm
wants-
sure.
I mean, dude, the fact that you're disputing that one, that one's like literally like no one disputes that. No one disputes
The
it because
supremacy
that's
of
applicable
military?
for both sides. Both sides are advocating for them to have the disproportionate amount of government funding. Just being applicable to one of these doesn't mean that you're a fascist, right? But again, that is one of the elements.
Right.
This is
But I said-
this is the most ridiculous one to dispute.
But you said it would have to be more than half of all 14 for you to.
So which ones do you dispute? Don't
nail
dispute the
down.
one that's most obvious. That's like actually probably the most obvious one. Like, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
so you admit that one doesn't stick.
What? No,
that
we
one
admit-
doesn't stick.
What? How the fuck did you get that out of what I just said? How the fuck did you just get that out of what I just said? What? What are you talking?
Because-
I said it's one of the most obvious ones that's applicable to Donald Trump.
How is it most applicable to Donald Trump when he is not doing anything no other president has done?
Because he's
Joe
openly-
Biden changed
He wants
the
$1
name.
trillion
trying
a
to-
year military budget. We're about to have $1 trillion. He says it himself. He says he wants the #1 military in the world. The fact that you dispute this one is boggling my mind, bro. Genuinely. What the fuck, dude? Out of all of the ones to dispute,
When
you
does any president
you pick
cut
supremacy of the
funding
fucking
to the
military
military?
to dispute? Again, that's like the most.
When
fucking
has any
obvious
president
one.
cut funding to the military? Which president, just say in the last 40 years, has cut funding to the military? When's the last time
Both
funding was
sides are
cut?
advocating to increase funding. That's why I'm saying it's applicable to both sides. Why
So
would you
are
not-
both sides fascist?
No, dude, I just told you. Just having one of them applicable to you does not mean you're a fascist.
Okay, so that one's not applicable to Trump. He's not.
It
doing
is
anything
applicable
any
to
other
Trump.
president. We've always had the #1 military in the world.
Yes, so it's applicable to everyone. But
So
if
would you
only
say
one out of the
everybody
fucking
needs at
14,
least one
if only
fascist?
one of the 14 are applicable to you, you're not a fascist.
Okay.
Okay. So which ones do you dispute? Because it's clearly not that one. It seems like you agree that one applies to Trump. So which ones do you dispute out of the ones that we brought up?
I would dispute the healthcare too. Sure, he cut some funding,
Healthcare?
but he didn't cut the program.
Which one was healthcare?
The sciences. The disdain for sciences.
Yes, that means that they literally have, I gave you examples. They cut the CDC, they cut the World Health Organization, they cut USAID, they specifically cut the EPA, they cut cancer research and development.
Yes, but did he cut any of those altogether? Did he sharpen his pencil, or did he cut any of those programs altogether? I'm just saying. Were there any of those? The EPA, the USAID, any of that? Did he cut it all together?
Am I going crazy, chat, or is he fucking
No, he's
dumb?
gaslighting.
Or
He's
is he
How am I
actually dumb?
gaslighting?
Like, what is going on right now? What, dude? What was that? Am I just?
Can you just
elevated right
answer
now?
the question?
Am I just elevated right now? I don't even know what the fuck your question was. Like, I actually have no clue.
I'm asking you, did he stop any of those programs completely, or did he sharpen his pencil?
He cut
Do you know
the
what I
funding.
mean when I say
If
sharpen
you
the
wait,
pencil?
if you
He
cut
cut-
the
he cut
funding, if you cut the funding for a program and you cut their budget, how does the program continue to actually function without funding?
Yeah, it reduces. But I'm not saying they cut 100%.
Did he reduce it or cut it out
I'm saying
completely?
they reduced it. They cut a portion.
Okay, that's what I'm getting at. He
That's bad.
reduced those programs. Okay, you can say it's
40%
bad,
of the
but you can't
EPA,
say necessarily it's a
30 to 40%
disdain.
of the EPA.
You can't say that it's actual disdain for sciences by
Yes, I
saying,
can.
"Hey, we gotta sharpen our pencil."
The
That's not
attack on
sharpening the
the
That
attack
is
on
sharpening the pencil when you
no
reduce
no
funding.
the
When you
the
do
literal
more with
attack
less.
that they've gone on as far as trying to get rid of certain vaccinations. They have completely revamped the CDC, firing multiple people that directly believe in the institutional science. The one of the major cuts during the government shutdown has specifically been people that are directly related to any type of health field, like the not DHS, but whatever HHS has specifically put out information saying that yes, they're targeting those actual institutions that directly affect medical knowledge and regulations. Like they're literally going after any type of standard when it comes to the medical institution within the United States. That's why we have measles outbreaks. I'm from South Carolina, and South Carolina literally has a measles outbreak right now because RFK Jr. is put in charge of HHS, and he does not believe in the science that is upheld and kept us safe and healthy throughout
Okay.
history of the United States.
Okay, can I speak? I don't want to cut you off. That's why I'm asking.
Connor, after
I
you're done though, I want to say thank you to a few people. I got to catch up. I'm
Oh yeah, I
really far
understand,
behind
man.
actually.
That's no problem. Would you like to do it now? I know.
Yeah, I could do it now.
You know that's important.
And then
go
we can,
ahead.
we can go back from that basis because I'm like 15 minutes behind. Can we get some W's for Jen in the comment section right now for the $80 on Venmo? Can fucking W's for Jen in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Jen. That is so amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad that I could. Thank you. Can we get some W's for Jen in the comment section right now? I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we were able to. Can we get some W's for Jen in the comment section right now? I hope you're still here to see me say thank you. Thank you so much, Jen. Cheyenne, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Alex with the $3. Thank you. Barbara, thank you for the $1. Really appreciate it. Thank you. And Jessica, thank you for the $1. I will get to everyone's messages. Thank you so much, everybody. Natalie, thank you for the $3. Thank you. Anna, thank you so much for the $10. Can we get some W's for Anna in the comment section right now? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And then I also do need to catch up on YouTube. I'm really far behind on YouTube. I've got to fully catch up. Holy fuck. I gotta catch up. Phantom, thank you so much for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Holy shit, Phantom, thank you so much. Who's some W's for Phantom in the comment section right now? Thank you so much for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Who's some W's for Phantom in the comment section right now? Thank you so much. Ray, thank you. Or Zay, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. Hannah with the $10. Thank you so much. Pow Pow, thank you for the $14. Thank you so much. Harbor with the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Absurd, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Sarah, thank you for the $1. Really appreciate it. Coral, thank you for the $5. Thank you. Get some W's for Coral in the comment section, as always. Carolina, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Harbor, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Sabrina, thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Phantom, thank you for the $2. Carolina, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $10. Thank you. To Rudy, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $2. Thank you. Droid, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. Reagan with the $5. Thank you. Droid, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. Sean with the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And Johnny, I appreciate it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not going to involve myself with anything in general. I mean, I'm not going to involve myself with everything a streamer does that I could consider wrong or not. I'm debating people. So yeah, Connor.
Man, you had a lot of gifts. That's good, man.
Yeah,
you do a good job.
I appreciate it. Appreciate it. So,
ain't no problem. Hey,
what were we just talking about?
one thing. We were talking about the disdain for the sciences point, but I would just like to finish because, we can have a debate and it don't all have to be. I can give you a compliment. You do a good job on your streams, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
They're very interesting. Hey, no problem. Okay, so back to what I was saying. The disdain for sciences what's the word again? I don't want to use the wrong word. To reduce funding doesn't designate that you have actual disdain, correct? You could say, you could be mad about it. Sure. I mean, I'm the product right now. The company I work for is they're sharpening their pencil. They're laying people off. They're reducing, and I'm not happy about it. but I wouldn't say that they have
So
a
the point is that they're
disdain.
just like reducing the funding for it, and that's actually like it's within the explanation for the disdain for the intellectuals in the arts about like
Right, but the
refusing to
word
fund them. So, like
he's not
to be
refusing to fund
totally
them.
honest with you, like out of all of the ones that you could have disputed, I think you did actually pick the two that are like the most obvious. And I don't mean
It's
to
weird
like,
that he picked those.
yeah, like out of all of them, like if I were you, I would have picked like
I picked them because I don't
maybe you have
see
more
it the way
plausible
you did.
deniability for number 6.
What's number 6? Just for the
Control
sake
mass
of
media, because he hasn't necessarily completely done it yet, but I mean he has advocated for it.
okay, many presidents have came out and you could say advocated for control
Yeah,
of
I
media.
honestly I think all of these are pretty solid, like in place. Like
They
you know,
are.
Trump hits all
I
of
was
them.
wondering
Like,
where you were gonna go with that.
yeah, like the only one I
Many
would really try to
presidents have
dispute
gotten
would
mad at
maybe
the
be number
media.
6.
No
Like you have
president would go
somewhat
after
of an
the freedom of
argument in
speech.
that context, maybe. But like, dude, all of them are just like literally Trump, dude. Like, I'm sorry, like it's so obvious at this point.
But how did he go after freedom of speech? Like
Yeah, he
how
he
could
passed
he?
an
Wait,
executive
what?
order. He passed an executive order to put people in prison for a year for burning the American flag, which is a violation of the First Amendment, according to the Supreme Court. He's also called for the complete and total shutdown of Muslims entering the country, which is a violation of the First Amendment, according to the Supreme
It's
Court.
also a law not to burn the flag. It's also a law.
No, it's not. You actually, a lot of people burn the flag specifically to retire it.
Yes, in that aspect, to retire the flag. There's a whole procedure for retiring a flag. You don't just go out in the yard and burn the flag.
Yeah, but it should be
You
legal to
don't
do
go
that,
out in
right?
the
It's
street
it's
and burn it.
symbolic speech. It should be legal.
It's
to do
legal
that.
under that procedure to burn a flag. Yes.
Okay, so you think it's illegal to burn a flag? So if I burned a flag on stream right now, you think I should go to prison?
I think it probably would result in a misdemeanor, but it does mean you broke a law. You don't go to prison for speeding, but you did in fact break
No.
a
Do you
law.
think I should go to prison for a year?
No, because it
Well,
would be a
Trump was
misdemeanor.
advocating. Trump was advocating for that. Prison for a year for burning the American flag.
But I'm not going to sit here and say that Trump never does anything that is slightly assholish. Okay, I'm sorry. I shouldn't use that word.
I was just about to say
apologize.
language.
I know. I slipped up, my man. I can admit it. I slipped up. He is not always very palatable. Let me say that. He's not always the most palatable person, I would imagine, to speak with, or what I've heard him say. I can admit that.
Also, just want to call out that, like, literally, there's no law against flag burning. There's been 2 Supreme Court rulings that have deemed that flag burning is protected, and it's not under the specific procedures of retiring a flag. Shout out to Erica for that quick feedback.
I mean, what Supreme Court case was it? Because I can say, I'm only asking that because I can say, oh, yeah, that was tried in the Supreme Court.
Sure.
But chances are I'm talking out the side of my neck because I can't give the actual case number.
All right.
Or just give the title of the case. Just give the title of the case. I don't expect you
of course, Texas v. Johnson is the biggest one and most famous one in '89. But there's also the United States versus Eachman in 1990, and both of them reaffirmed that it's protected under the First Amendment, and it's an expression. It's an expression of the First Amendment.
Okay. I mean, you've produced the evidence. Look. Trump is not the most agreeable person in the world. I mean, it's obvious. I'm not even going to try to debate that. I'm saying that I still support him, even though there are a lot of things I don't like about him. And hey, the good thing is we have this thing called the Congress. And if the Congress does what it's supposed to, it's going to keep him in check.
So, but are you agreeing now that Donald Trump is a fascist?
No, I'm still not agreeing it's a fascist. I think that's a point of opinion. And you could be right, but time will have to tell that. As of right now, he's not a true blue fascist or a true red fascist.
He literally is.
It's
Did you know
still an
there's
opinion.
did you know there's other countries, historians from other countries that are currently documenting different fascistic measures that Donald Trump is taking so they can have a record of it because they don't think that the record would be properly kept in the United States?
I mean, history is opinionated as well. History is written by the victor.
It absolutely is, but that's why it's critical for other people to actually track history as well and keep an accurate record of history because Donald Trump is actively rewriting history.
How can you say he's a fascist, though, until he actually makes a move that's a fascist? Nobody said Hitler was a fascist until he invaded the Sudetenland.
Yeah, I mean, again, you can actually take a look at who Hitler he modeled himself after, which was Mussolini, and
Hitler
if you
came
take
before Mussolini.
wait, hold on, no,
Hitler started the Nazi movement in 1932. He didn't invade the Sudetenland until 1938. Mussolini, I'm pretty sure he wasn't in power in 1932, or he had just came into power, but he wasn't around long enough for Hitler.
Ideologically.
and also
like fascism.
no, Mussolini came in power in 1922.
Yeah.
You're not gonna gaslight me. I'm literally I'm working on this. The reason why I'm so confident about this
What's
is
your
because
source on that?
hold on. I'll tell you in just a second. I'm getting to it. The reason why I'm so confident on this is because I've literally been working on a long form content video for my YouTube, which is explaining the 14 tenets of fascism and how Donald Trump meets all 14 tenets. And I have the outline of Mussolini, Hitler, Franco, and also Antonio di Aliverde. I got to learn how to say that name before I say it. But literally the actual most recognizable fascists within history. And I have the dates of all of them. I have the dates, I have their records, I have all the information. I'm literally doing a breakdown video of all of this. So yes, Hitler came after Mussolini.
Okay, would you say, let's just say, was there like, again, I'm rough on these numbers, aren't there over 700 million people in the U.S.? 700 million people. Okay, 70 million? It's one of those, it's a 7.
Nope, it's like around 340 million.
340 million. Okay. So in this last election, we could say definitively the majority voted for Trump, correct?
No.
No, because only only a
he
certain,
won the popular vote.
We have to look at what percent specifically voted, right? So 77 million people voted for Donald Trump.
Would you say 77 million people are fascists?
More people voted against Donald Trump than voted for Donald Trump.
They supported.
That's not true,
They
my
supported
friend.
someone
How would he have
who was a
won
fascist.
the
A lot of
popular
people didn't even know that they were a fascist. They were uninformed, misinformed, and clearly just happened to vote for and support a fascist.
Yeah, the fascist
then
thing
why
is new
his
for
approval
Trump.
rating still so high?
They're not. It's in the toilet. They're in the 30. The fascist thing is new, and then also just back to my original point. More people voted for either Kamala Harris or a third party candidate combined than they voted for Donald Trump. That's how it's true. But I'm sorry. Go ahead, Parker.
Who else ran besides Kamala on the ticket that got any resemblance of any votes?
What's her name? From the Green Party, the cicada, Jill Stein.
How many votes did she pull?
Jill Stein got a percentage of the votes. Also, RFK Jr. was still on the ballot. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, RFK was only on the ballot.
RFK. I can't believe
not
people
even
voted
10.
for RFK. That's the most crazy thing ever, is that people still voted for RFK when he wasn't even a candidate.
Yep.
You know what's even crazier? I don't even think he was on the ballot in more than maybe say 10 states.
They wrote him in. They wrote him in, dude.
Well, what I'm getting at,
RFK Jr. got the second most amount of votes for any third party candidate.
Okay, can you give me the percentages from third party candidates? I'm just trying to do a little math here to back up you saying
Donald Trump got 49 point something percent of the total vote. He didn't get 50%. He got 49 point something. Like, again, you can go look this up yourself, but Donald Trump did not get over 50% of the votes.
Then why do they say he won the popular vote? I mean, it's not just right-wing news media said he won the popular vote.
Because he got the most of any vote getter.
So he got the popular vote. Correct? I'm just saying, man.
Technically,
I mean, you used technically earlier.
sure, but I've never disputed that he got the popular vote. You said that the majority of the people
Okay,
voted
that
for
was
him.
my point. Would you say
But no,
that,
you said the majority of the people voted for him, and I'm saying that point's not true.
would you say half
Here,
of
Cass,
the
I think you to a
popular
few people
vote
real
is
quick.
still fascist?
Hold up.
Would you say half the popular vote?
And
I'm
Angela,
sorry.
thank you so much for the $20. Thank you. Chase, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you as always. Valentine, thank you so much as well. You already know it. Thank you so much. Brianna, thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Pow Pow, thank you for the $7. Thank you so much. Santana24 speaks. Absurd, thank you for the $10. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I am fully caught up. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure I'm caught up because I had to
Take
like
my old
restart
Oh,
my
it's no
username.
problem, Parker.
Holy smokes! Wait,
my
Parker,
phone
did
mic
that
'cause
say
my messages
Santana
aren't
24
working.
speaks?
Yes, that's your YouTube, right?
That's my old one. Someone actually must have repurposed it. Wow.
Really?
Yeah. I had to end up changing it because a whole thing. So yeah, that's why I have a new user for like all my pay links.
Oh,
And
what is
also
it? What is it
Tiffany,
now?
thank you for the 2. It's Santana for you. Santana speaks for you. So Santana speaks for you.
I like it.
Yeah.
I already subscribed to you. I was just trying to, because it still says Santana speaks for me.
Oh. Wait, are you talking about YouTube?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you. Oh yeah. It's Santana Speaks on YouTube. Just at Santana
Oh.
Speaks.
Yeah, just Santana speaks. All right.
I'm sorry.
Sure.
I thought you were talking about like a pay link. Never mind. That was on me.
You're good. You're good.
Look, I just ask,
Go
are
ahead,
y'all
Connor.
enjoying the debate? Are y'all enjoying the debate? I'm not trying to get off topic. I'm
I
having
am
a
going to be
good
getting
time.
off of the debates here in a few minutes.
Yeah, it is getting late, huh,
About to
bud?
5 hours.
You in Central Time?
I was literally just
I'm
about to go
Pacific.
live before I heard you talking about like the whole Southern strategy and everything. Connor. The one thing that I'll say is that like you're definitely a smart person. You're just you're intellectually dishonest. Like you don't want to quote unquote lose the debate, and so you won't actually admit to the things.
Well, I mean, can you fault me though? Nobody sets out to lose, right? Nobody sets out to lose. And I can see your point, but I'm also going to admit to you, no, I don't want to lose. But I also enjoy hearing other opinions. And that's why I will say it's been very respectful. And I've seen some of these lives where it really gets out of hand, and I applaud you, Parker, for being respectful, But, I mean, nobody sets out to a debate to lose. You wouldn't do it if you didn't want to win. I mean, that's in our nature as humans. We want to be competitive, right? We want to win.
Yeah,
We
but
want
I
to
think
be
you have
right.
to say like what's the cost, right? Because like the Republican Party keep talking about like winning and how they quote unquote win or they won, but it's at the expense of everyday Americans, right? And
Oh,
people
yeah.
tend
Hey,
to
listen.
they're bragging on that, but people
We,
are like
we,
literally losing their health care and their livelihood and
we,
like people are
yeah.
starving because they won.
We have common ground on that, Santana. A big question I've been asking lately with this whole CR, is why have we not passed a budget for a fiscal year since 1997? Since Bill Clinton, we have not passed a budget. And we've had Democrat control, we've had Republican control. So honestly, I am starting to lose faith in our politicians altogether. I am.
Just now? You just now started to lose faith in them?
I mean, I'm 31 years old. I haven't exactly lived that long a time. I've lived over a little bit over a quarter century. I would like to hope that our government could work, but I'm telling you, and the reason I'm a Republican, the real true reason I'm a Republican is because I want small government. I don't think any time the government gets involved, I'm not going to say any time. I'm going to use your word, Parker. Most times
Hold
the
up here.
government
I
gets
do want to give you
involved,
some
it doesn't
pushback
work
here.
out.
Do you think Trump is providing smaller government?
I think by cutting a lot of the IRS and a lot of these other government programs, it is shrinking the government.
Cutting the IRS reduces revenue and would increase our national debt.
How? He's just saying that we don't need
because
this many agents.
No, cutting the IRS reduces the level of enforcement of IRS's like laws and rules and regulations.
Specifically, the portion of the IRS, the additional agents that were hired under the Biden administration were able to recoup billions of dollars from the top 1% that had found different loopholes to skirt taxes, and they were able to reclaim that. And Donald Trump has laid those people off, and now those reclaims have not only slowed, but they've started to focus on people who are not as wealthy and like the middle and lower class, as far as trying to find ways to get additional taxes from them.
Would you say, though, that Congress could handle that problem by closing the loopholes? Because the loopholes are only there because of the lawmakers either missing it or ignoring it or making that loophole intentionally for themselves.
Like Trump and Republicans making the loophole intentionally, yeah.
Or like Democrats, too. I mean, let's look at all the
I'm not
Democrats.
disputing some Democrats were involved, of course, but that's not going to be the Democrats that we like. You know, like,
let's say most politicians.
Caleb,
most politicians.
No, I wouldn't say that, especially for Democrats.
You wouldn't say that most politicians came in.
I wouldn't say most Democratic politicians support tax loopholes for the top 1%. I think that would be an absurd statement to make.
Okay, then why not close them? Wouldn't that be something that if we had good politicians, that could be a bipartisan bill to close those loopholes? If they don't like them,
I would love to close them. I'd love for it to be bipartisan as well. I just don't think that in Congress it's gonna be bipartisan. Like that might be bipartisanly supported amongst people like in the live and like people in the general public, but there hasn't been enough pressure on politicians in terms of who you voted for on the Republican side.
Well, there
to
should
put enough
be
pressure to Republicans to do that. There should be, of course. I agree with you, but like I mean, I'd love for that to be bipartisan. I'd love that if we could find some agreement on that. But a lot of Republicans in Congress don't find agreement there, probably because of.
But why didn't it happen under Obama or under Biden? I'm just naming recent times where we had
didn't vote for policies.
A Democrat majority.
There were certain Democrats that wouldn't vote for the policies, right? Like because they want to like play the middle and they don't want to vote for things.
Like Joe Manchin.
Joe Manchin. Oh my gosh, horrible.
Or like Nancy Pelosi. She's a big one.
Well, good thing in the context of
Chuck Schumer.
In the context of San Francisco, you can vote out Nancy Pelosi in the primaries.
Yet they won't
by voting for Shoigu.
I can't understand that. I can't understand why Nancy Pelosi has been in Congress as long as she has, or Chuck Schumer.
Or Mitch McConnell.
Again, I'm picking on the Democrats, but I also can't understand how John Thune stays in Congress. I can also tell you.
I can tell you because you have people.
I'm from Louisiana. I'm not particularly crazy about the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson. I don't think that he's got the House in order. I just don't. It's not what I'm looking for as a Republican.
I can tell you how. I'm from, again, I mentioned I'm from South Carolina, and Strom Thurmond was in Congress for I don't know how long and was an open, avid racist. Like, he was a horrible person. And the people of South Carolina continue to vote him in because, one, most people don't know enough about politics. Two, most people are tribalistic, and so they pick a person and they stick with the person no matter whether they're doing something good for them or not. Three, certain areas are gerrymandered all to hell, so even if people want to vote other people out, they don't get to do that. And four, money in politics.
And I'm glad you mentioned gerrymander. I just want to play out a scenario. If we were all senators, y'all were Democrat, I was Republican, and we were working on that bill to make immigration, to make a way, to make a means for undocumented immigrants to get documentation, I would say, okay, Parker, okay, Centennial, that's fine. But also, I want gerrymandering off the table. No more redrawing districts. Because that evens the playing field. Because you cannot sit here and say some of these politicians don't want an influx of immigrants that would potentially vote for them, and then they could just gerrymander the district to gain the votes. I mean, it's all about winning in Congress. It's all about winning in politics. Most of these politicians will do anything. Half of them don't even care. They just go with what they think is going to keep them in power.
Well, speaking of which, in California, if you can vote yes on 50, you should.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, we should definitely redistrict here in California, fight back against the Republicans. right? I mean, they've done it. We're advocating for a precedent specifically to at least change the precedents behind it in terms of asking for the population to do it beforehand, and it at least highlights the absurdities of gerrymandering, right? So if you want to reduce gerrymandering, well, then you've got to start with the fact that Republicans have been gerrymandering for such a long time. And we're not going to just allow for the Republicans to gerrymander their way towards winning in 2026 and 2028. That would be absurd. We're going to make sure that that doesn't happen by voting yes on 50. I'm going to be voting yes on 50.
Parker called it out like directly. That's how you do it. Like actually seeking to get approval through, putting it on a ballot, and like that's how you make it happen. Anyway, Parker, I'm gonna get out here. I'm getting ready to go live. I was literally going live right before I heard that, and I was like, I have to come up because this guy's insane. But I appreciate you having me.
You're good. I appreciate you coming up.
All right, see you.
Peace out. Peace out. Seems like the guy just left as well. Caleb, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. Not right now specifically, but I appreciate it. Thank you. As well as Caleb, thank you for the membership subscription. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to get off for tonight, everyone. If you're on YouTube, I would really appreciate if you hit that thumbs up, everyone. I think right now we have like, 2,200 likes. If we can get to 2,500 for the night, I would really, really, really appreciate it. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to me if you haven't already. If you're on TikTok, follow me. I do these lives every single day. We do like around 4 hours every single day. Absolutely, everyone. I love y'all so much. I'm going to be getting off here. I was thinking about doing a Q&A, but I should go downstairs and eat. So I think I'm just going to do that. I love everyone so much. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I will see everyone tomorrow. I love y'all so much. Good night, everybody.